Chapter 140. I say, young Master Lu, is there something wrong with your brain? I'm frying youtiao in the morning market. How would I know if she has woken up? Besides, I'm in the same villa with her. It's not the same room, let alone the same floor. How would I know? If she wakes up and doesn't leave the house, I won't know. Xiao Chen said angrily. Yes. I'm sorry. I'll ask myself. Lu Zhenming listened to Xiao Chen's words and laughed instead of being angry. This just proved that the relationship between Xiao Chen and Cheng Menjing wasn't close at all. The relationship between the two was just that of a master and a servant. Xiao Chen hung up the phone directly. He was now a cultivator at the 4th level of the qi refinement stage, so his words were quite tough. At least, he wouldn't be bullied by others like before. After Lu Zhenming called Xiao Chen, he dialed Cheng Menjing's phone number directly. However, the phone rang a few times, but no one picked up. Even when it was automatically cut off, no one picked up. However, Lu Zhenming persevered and dialed a second time. This time, the phone didn't ring for long before Cheng Menjing picked up, but Lu Zhenming's ears were almost deafened. Lu Zhenming, do you want to die? You're disturbing my sleep so early in the morning. Do you want to die? Cheng Menjing had a stomachache and wanted to sleep in, but the phone kept ringing. After ringing once, she thought it would stop ringing, but it didn't take long for it to start ringing again. Cheng Menjing had no choice but to take the phone and look at the caller ID. She suddenly exploded in anger. Lu Zhenming realized that he was a bit stupid. Today was Saturday, and he went to school as a normal day. The result was a tragedy. However, the call had already been made, so he could only bite the bullet and say that. Miss Cheng, I want to treat you to breakfast. Do you want me to pick you up at your house? Cheng Menjing was woken up, and she couldn't sleep anymore. She thought that the youtiao yesterday was really delicious, so her attitude was a little better. Alright, I'll forget about it for the sake of eating youtiao. I'm going to inspect my servants. Okay, then I'll go to Qianhua Shuibian district now. Lu Zhenming knew that Cheng Menjing lived in Qianhua Shuibian district, but he didn't know the specific address. Wait at the entrance of the villa. I'm looking for Bei Bei, Cheng Menjing said. You're still looking for Jean Bei Bei? Lu Zhenming's face immediately turned bitter. What? You don't want to treat Bei Bei? Cheng Menjing's tone changed. Of course not. The more people, the merrier. Lu Zhenming said in a hurry. It seemed that he had to be more careful in the future not to show his dissatisfaction toward Jean Bei Bei. Otherwise, it would be even less likely that Cheng Menjing would fall in love with him. Then wait for me. Cheng Menjing would not have bothered to talk to Lu Zhenming if she were not going to eat youtiao. However, when she recalled that the youtiao that Xiao Chen fried yesterday was very delicious after being seasoned, she held back her displeasure and went to Lu Zhenming's car. Lu Zhenming waited at the entrance of Qianhua Shuibian district for almost an hour before he finally saw Jean Bei Bei's Panamera passing by. Lu Zhenming hurried to get out of the car and shouted, "Hey, Jean Bei Bei." However, Jean Bei Bei did not respond to him at all. The car disappeared in the blink of an eye. He had intended to follow Jean Bei Bei to learn Cheng Menjing's address, but his plan was ruined. He could only ask Xiao Chen another day. After another half an hour, when Lu Zhenming was about to turn into a fossil, he saw Jean Bei Bei's Panamera driving out again. "Menjing, you're here. Why don't you get in my car?" Lu Zhenming hurried to get out of the car and made a gesture for her to get in. "Didn't you know that cousin Menjing's relative is here today? Why did you ask her to get out of the car when it's inconvenient for her to move? You'll be covered in blood later." Jean Bei Bei bared her teeth at Lu Zhenming. Well. Lu Zhenming was dazed for a moment. He immediately felt embarrassed. No wonder Cheng Menjing was in such a bad temper today. He nodded in a hurry and said, "All right. I'll lead the way." Beibei, why did you tell everyone about it? How could you tell an outsider about it? Cheng Menjing frowned. She was a little angry that Jin Beibei told Lu Zhenming her private affairs. However, she forgot that she had just told Xiao Chen yesterday. Or rather, she was already used to Xiao Chen's presence in the villa and did not regard him as an outsider anymore. He. I didn't think that much. Jin Beibei said with a smile, right. Can I stay at your place tonight? It's the weekend. Okay. You can keep me company. Cheng Menjing nodded. 2 cars appeared on the morning market street one after the other. However, Jin Beibei parked her car at the roadside at the entrance of the morning market street and didn't drive further inside. Naturally, Lu Zhenming didn't dare to barge in. Although his car plate number was Super Awesome 001. Lu Zhenming swaggered in front to clear the way. Because of Cheng Menjing's special situation, he was afraid that someone would bump into Cheng Menjing. He was a qualified escort. However, Cheng Menjing did not even look at him. In fact, Cheng Menjing looked down on a gangster like him even more than the foppish young master Xiao Chen. The 3 of them arrived at Xiao Chen's breakfast stall. When Lu Zhenming was about to cut the queue to buy something, someone behind him objected, "Hey, what are you doing? Line up at the back." F***ck. Lu Zhenming was about to curse, but he remembered that this was Xiao Chen's breakfast stall. He could not cause trouble. Perhaps all the people who knew him yesterday were not here. Besides, he had changed his clothes and did not drive in, so no one recognized him as the super awesome young master who dared to bump into Red Hair yesterday. Therefore, Lu Zhenming hesitated for a moment and was about to leave. Suddenly, a shopper recognized him and hurriedly said to the unwilling shopper, "Don't shout. You can't mess with this person. He was the one who wanted to bump into Red Hair yesterday. You have offended him. What if he kills you later?" That ruthless man. Obviously, the shopper had also heard the gossip yesterday. At this time, he shrank his neck and did not dare to speak. The others did the same. Lu Zhenming laughed and felt that he was quite awesome. He greeted Xiao Chen in high spirits. "Good morning, Xiao Chen. Help us make some breakfast." Xiao Chen nodded without saying anything. Tang Tang filled a plate of fried dough sticks and 3 bowls of soybean milk for him. When Lu Zhenming was about to take it away, he heard Xiao Chen say, "Wait, where's the money?" It was not that Lu Zhenming did not want to give it, but he forgot. So he hurriedly took out 100 yuan and handed it to Tang Tang. "Including tomorrow's money. Today's money may not be enough." Xiao Chen did not wait for Tang Tang to speak and directly replied to him. "Hey!" Lu Zhenming was stunned. "I can't eat so much, can I? You don't need me to talk to Jin Beibei later? Is the service charge free?" Speaking of this, Xiao Chen shrugged and said, "Fine, I won't go." "No. Then the service charge. I will add another 100 yuan. You must come soon." Lu Zhenming took out another 100 yuan and handed it to Tang Tang. Tang Tang was stunned. She took the money and thought, this Lu Zhenming actually listens to Xiao Chen now. Looking at Xiao Chen's reaction, is he going to give up on Cheng Menjing? Does he not like Cheng Menjing anymore? It's impossible. If he doesn't like her, why does he continue to be her servant? Perhaps, Xiao Chen knows that he has no hope, so he does this. Thinking of this, Tang Tang felt some sympathy for Xiao Chen, but she also felt a little indignant. Since Cheng Menjing had no future with Xiao Chen, she should not give him hope and let him have expectations. At about 10 o'clock, the people who came to buy fried dough sticks gradually decreased. The next peak was after 11 o'clock. Xiao Chen fried a lot of fried dough sticks, which was enough for Tang Tang to sell. So he turned around and walked to Lu Zhenming. "Oh, Xiao Chen, you're finally here." Lu Zhenming was very anxious. Just now, he sat in front of Cheng Menjing and Jean Bebe like a fool. The two of them were chattering, and Lu Zhenming did not understand a word. He could only play with his mobile phone in boredom. However, it was worth praising that he finally succeeded in adding the WeChat ID of Fishman2, Urine22, and sent 100 messages to him sincerely. "Hello, Fishman2, I'm your loyal fan. My name is Lu Zhenming. Can you arrange a role for me in your novel? It'd be better if it has a high appearance rate and is very awesome." Then, he quietly waited for the reply, hoping that he could get what he wanted. In this way, Cheng Menjing could see his awesome deeds. He imagined that one day when Cheng Menjing watched Campus Belle's Bodyguard, she suddenly found that there was a very awesome person named Lu Zhenming in the novel. Wow, he was so cool. Why haven't you eaten yet? Xiaofan glanced at the fried dough sticks and soybean milk in front of Lu Zhenming, which had not been touched. Well. Lu Zhenming was too embarrassed to eat just now. Since Cheng Menjing and Jean Bebe were eating and chatting, it would be too boring for him to eat alone. He wanted to wait for Xiaofan to come and eat together. But before he finished, the fried dough sticks and soybean milk in front of him were snatched away by Xiaofan. "If you don't eat, I'll eat." Xiaofan took it and started to eat. Lu Zhenming took a deep breath and said with a bitter face, "I'm waiting for you to eat. I haven't eaten yet." "Oh." Xiaofan answered and did not move, continuing to eat. "That. What I mean is, you ate my breakfast, what should I do?" Lu Zhenming hated Xiaofan to the core. This guy was truly invincible when he was shameless. "Don't you know how to buy more?" Xiaofan asked. Damn it. Lu Zhenming had no choice but to stand up and buy fried dough sticks again. Lin Ke was no longer busy on her side, so she quickly cooked 2 bowls of noodles and ran over to Tang Tang and Xiaofan. Lin was afraid that the noodles would become soft and not taste good, so she trotted all the way to Xiaofan's breakfast stand. When she was about to reach Xiaofan's breakfast stand, a person suddenly rushed out from the side and bumped into her. The 2 bowls of noodles were directly splashed on that person. Chapter 141. Lin was shocked and stopped. She looked at the man with pockmarks on his face and looked very fierce. She was a little dumbfounded. I'm sorry, D*MN, little girl, do you have eyes? Why are you running so fast? Are you rushing to reincarnate? Do you know that your basketball brother, is going to find a partner? How can I find a partner with you all over me? The fierce man pointed at Lin and shouted, "Hurry up and pay up." How much money? Lin took 2 steps back in horror. She grabbed the corner of her clothes helplessly and didn't dare to look up at the fierce macho man. It's not my fault. It's you ran diagonally, what? You're still in the right after bumping into someone? You should be careful when you walk with noodles. Why are you blaming me? Zheng Qianzhu was the instructor of a nearby dojo. He used to be a hooligan. When he had nothing to do, he also liked to extort and force girls into prostitution. He had set his eyes on Lin Ke just now, so he purposely created such a show. Basketball brother, this little girl looks like a waitress who delivers food. Your clothes are branded goods. It's the Aster Imperial brand. It's 400 to 500 yuan. I don't think she can afford it. At this time, one of Zheng Qianzhu's followers came over. This person was also a coach in the martial arts dojo. He usually hung out with Zheng Qianzhu. His name was Wei Ji, and he was also a gangster. What should we do? We can't just let it go, right? Zheng Qianzhu glared at Lin. How about this? Little girl, you sleep with our basketball brother for a night, and we'll let this matter go. 400 to 500 yuan can be used to find a very high-class lady. You see, if you can, then come with us. If you can't, then you have to pay up. Wei Ji pretended to be very kind and said, "Ah." Lin's face turned pale, and she bit her lip subconsciously. You can't blame me. Besides, I didn't mean it, I think this condition is fine. Hurry up and choose. Don't waste time. Zheng Baiqiu threatened. Otherwise, hurry up and compensate me for my clothes. Lu Zhenming quickly ran to Tang Tang to buy breakfast, but he slipped halfway and fell on his butt. When he got up to take a look, he guessed that it was a pile of watery noodles. No wonder he slipped and fell. He immediately flew into a rage. Motherf **Ker, who threw noodles on the ground? Hence, when he turned his head to take a look, he discovered Lin Kur was weakly holding onto a plate of noodles, and in front of her stood two burly men. Although he didn't know what they were doing, Lu Zhenming wasn't stupid. He was sure that the spilled noodles on the ground had something to do with these three people. Do you want to die? Lu Zhenming pointed at the three of them and said angrily, didn't you throw the noodles on the ground and ignore them? Don't you think you're screwed? He didn't know if Cheng Menjing saw this funny scene, so in order to save his face, he must give an explanation. Tang Tang also saw that Lin had a dispute with someone, but she was being called a fried dough stick. She couldn't just ignore the customers in front of her and rush over, right? Fortunately, they hadn't fought yet. It was just a quarrel. Tang Tang still had time. However, before Tang Tang could get there, Lu Zhenming had already started to fight with the three men. Hey, Xiao Chen, isn't that your little lover over there? She's being bullied. Don't you want to go and see? Cheng Menjing also saw Lin. When she saw her coming with 2 bowls of noodles, she wasn't very happy. This Xiao Chen is already down and out, and he still has the mood to continue to hook up with Lin? What is he thinking? However, although she was unhappy, she was a kind person. When she saw Lin being bullied, she still couldn't sit back and do nothing. Cheng Menjing saw it, so did Xiao Chen. When he was about to go over, he saw that Lu Zhenming had a conflict with them first. Xiao Chen patted his forehead. This Lu Zhenming is really a troublemaker. He can cause trouble wherever he goes. However, it seems that he's not bad. Where are you from? Zheng Qianzhu didn't expect that someone would come out of nowhere, but he didn't dare to go too far. The arrogant young man in front of him had an obvious martial artist's aura. Others couldn't see it, but Zheng Qianzhu certainly knew. Although Zheng Qianzhu was the coach of the martial arts club, he didn't even have the first level of internal force. Although the owner of their martial arts club was somewhat powerful, he was just an ordinary coach. He couldn't reach the level of a martial artist at all. Therefore, even if Lu Zhenming wasn't a martial artist, he had the aura of a martial artist. His strength should be on par with Zheng Qianzhu. Lin, are you okay? Xiao Chen also walked over quickly at this time and took the tray from Lin's hand. Lu Zhenming was slightly stunned. He directly turned around and slapped Zheng Qianzhu's face. Motherf **Ker. How dare you hit Xiao Chen's woman? I think you don't want to live anymore. After that, Lu Zhenming slapped Zheng Qianzhu left and right. He vented his anger on Zheng Qianzhu's face. Lu Zhenming did this for a reason. He was obviously announcing that there was a relationship between Lin and Xiao Chen. Although Xiao Chen had Tang Tang, Tang Tang was still too ugly. He was afraid that Xiao Chen and Cheng Menjing would revive. Although this possibility seemed very small, Lu Zhenming was also afraid. Therefore, when he shouted, Cheng Menjing must have seen it too. Then, she would not have anything to do with Xiao Chen and take precautions in advance. On the other hand, it was also to tell Xiao Chen how good he was to him, how much he protected him, and how he would help him when there was trouble. In this way, it would be more convenient for him to ask Zheng Qianzhu to help him pursue Cheng Menjing in the future. However, Lu Zhenming underestimated Zheng Qianzhu's strength. Zheng Qianzhu was also a master of internal force. Although he had not reached the martial artist realm, he was not weaker than Lu Zhenming. He was stunned by Lu Zhenming before. When he came back to his senses, he fought with Lu Zhenming. It was reasonable to say that his strength was similar to Lu Zhenming's, so Lu Zhenming would not be at a disadvantage. However, Wei Ji next to him, although his strength was not as good as Zheng Qianzhu, he was also a coach of the martial arts club. When he helped from the side, Lu Zhenming began to be at a disadvantage. After a few blows, Lu Zhenming was beaten black and blue. He had to shout, "Xiao Chen, come and help me. I can't take it anymore." "Ah, okay, I'm coming." Only now did Xiao Chen pretend to come to his senses. He ran over and kicked Wei Ji to the ground. Then, he fiercely kicked Wei Ji's butt. Wei Ji let out a blood-curdling scream and felt that his anus had already prolapsed. Lu Zhenming knew Xiao Chen's strength. Although he was not a martial artist, his strength was not weak. Therefore, Xiao Chen really had to help at this moment, even though he enjoyed watching Lu Zhenming getting beaten up. Without the pressure from Wei Ji, Lu Zhenming was still slightly stronger than Zheng Qianzhu. He quickly completed the counterattack and began to beat Zheng Qianzhu. Soon, Zheng Qianzhu's head was beaten like a basketball. Lin was dumbfounded by the side. She was so scared that her whole body was trembling. Xiao Chen and his friend are too violent, right? In the past, although he was a playboy and was respected, he was not so ruthless. Has he become a big demon now? Lin began to fear Xiao Chen even more. Phew. Lu Zhenming was tired and let out a long breath. He said fiercely, "You blind fools, I'm tired. Otherwise, I'll beat you into a vegetable today." Good. Very good. Zheng Qianzhu's eyes were red, but he also knew that a wise man knew better than to fight when the odds were against him. The two people in front of him were not martial artists, but they were not weak. If he wanted to take revenge now, he would undoubtedly humiliate himself. However, when had he ever suffered such a loss? He pointed at Lu Zhenming and Xiao Chen and said, "I'll remember you. You sell youtiao here, right? Very good. You dare to beat up people from the Chao clan dojo. You're dead." With that, Zheng Qianzhu pulled Wei Ji and limped away. At least he did not lose face. If he looked for trouble later, it would be considered revenge. What Chao clan dojo? Even if you are from the Chao clan dojo, I will still beat you up. I'm from Zhang Fei dojo. Lu Zhenming curled his lips. Although his face was injured, he was still in a good mood. At least he won in the end. However, Xiao Chen's expression changed. He looked at Lu Zhenming in shock. "Young Master Lu, it's over. We've caused trouble this time. We've caused big trouble." "What's the big trouble? Didn't I just beat up two idiots?" Lu Zhenming did not care. This Chao clan dojo is very powerful. It's nearby. They left today, but they said they would not let me go. If they bring people to trouble me, what should I do? Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. "If that happens, I can only run. Young Master Lu, you will have to fight alone in the future. I can't help you anymore." "Don't." Lu Zhenming didn't want Xiao Chen to run away. Now, it was good to have Xiao Chen as an insider. If there was no Xiao Chen, it would be difficult for him to pursue Cheng Menjiying. So he quickly said, "Don't worry. Don't forget what our Lu family does. If we talk about the dojo, then we are the ancestors. Xiao Chen, don't worry. I will get someone to flatten them now." "That's great. Thank you, young Master Lu." Xiao Chen let out a sigh of relief with a look of lingering fear. Lu Zhenming waved his hand and dialed Lei Dianfeng's phone directly. "Young Master Ming, do you have any instructions?" Lei Dianfeng picked up the phone and asked. "It's like this. Near the Morning Market Street, there is a Chao clan dojo. Bring a few more masters and destroy them for me." Lu Zhenming ordered directly. "Oh. Lei Jianfeng was stunned. How did this dojo provoke young Master Ming? What is their background? Why don't we investigate first before we make a move? Investigate what? Hurry up, don't delay my plan to pick up girls. Lu Zhenming said impatiently, a few coaches who haven't even reached the first level of inner force. What background can they have? Besides, did they inform us when they opened a dojo? After you destroy them, tell them that I, Lu Zhenming, destroyed them. Chapter 142. Okay, I got it. Young Master Ming, I will bring someone over in a while. Lei Jianfeng responded. Okay. It's done. Xiao Chen, don't worry. This afternoon, the Chao's martial arts school will no longer exist. Lu Zhenming said proudly, did you see how much I protected you? We are good brothers in the future. If I have something to do, you can't ignore it. Just now, didn't I take the risk of revenge to help you? Xiao Chen said. NN. That's right. Lu Zhenming nodded after listening. Okay, then let's go back for breakfast. Wait for me. I will buy some food. No need. This meal is on me. Xiao Chen waved his hand generously. Ha. Okay. Although Lu Zhenming looked very happy, he secretly cursed in his heart. Just one meal. Will I have to spend money in the future? What a stingy person. But it's fine. He's not stingy and doesn't love money. I can't buy him. He asked Tang Tang to prepare some breakfast for Lu Zhenming. Xiao Chen came to Lin's side. Are you okay? Lin's body was actually splashed with a lot of soup, but it wasn't serious. However, when she saw Xiao Chen coming over, her heart was beating fast and she took 2 steps back. You. I'm okay. Lin was afraid of Xiao Chen. Why is he scarier and more brutal than before? It's good that you're okay. Xiao Chen didn't know that Lin was afraid of him. He thought that she was scared by Zheng Qiquan just now. Ahem, Xiao Chen, bring me a bowl of soy milk. Cheng Menjing's voice sounded. She didn't know why, but when she saw Xiao Chen and Lin talking, she was angry. Very angry. Damn Xiao Chen. Alright. Xiao Chen agreed and nodded to Lin. Then he said to Tang Tang, Tang Tang, help her get some fried dough sticks and soy milk, and some tofu pudding. Anyway, there are a lot of them. Yes, it's ready. Tang Tang handed a bag of breakfast to Lin. Ah. How can I? Lin looked at what Tang Tang handed over and felt a little embarrassed to take it. Take it. I still have business here. Tang Tang smiled. Then. I'll bring you 2 bowls of noodles later. Ah. 5 bowls. Lin thought of Lu Zhenming, Cheng Menjing, and Jin Beibei. Lu Zhenming had just helped him. Although this person was cruel, he still helped him. How could he not help him? And Cheng Menjing's presence here made Lin feel a little strange. Didn't Xiao Chen break off the engagement with her? Why are they together again? Or did they resume the engagement? Alas. I really don't understand the affairs of these big families. It seems that Xiao Chen just wants to fool around with me. He still wants to be with Cheng Menjing, a lady from a respectable family. Thinking of this, Lin lowered her head and left. Although Jin Beibei didn't know her, she subconsciously thought that she was Lu Zhenming's girlfriend. Tang Tang was a little surprised to see that Lin's mood suddenly turned gloomy. A touch of thought flashed across her face. Does she like Xiao Chen? It doesn't seem so. Tang Tang couldn't figure out Lin's real thoughts. Xiao Chen filled a bowl of soy milk with extra ingredients for Cheng Menjing and Jin Beibei. The 2 of them drank it happily. Although Lu Zhenming had never drunk such delicious soy milk, the current soy milk tasted very good. Xiao Chen, your taste is very high now. You can even go to a 5-star restaurant to cook breakfast. Just to make a living. You haven't drunk it before, so you think it's delicious, said Xiao Chen. That's true. I didn't eat these roadside stalls at all before. Lu Zhenming thought so and nodded. By the way, Xiao Chen, is that pretty girl your little lover? Yes. When we were in number 1 middle school, Xiao Chen didn't like me and always pestered Kerlin. Before Xiao Chen denied it, Cheng Menjing said fiercely. Xiao Chen was stunned. Did I offend her? But thinking of her special situation today, it was normal for her to have a bad temper, so he didn't explain further. I see. Lu Zhenming was overjoyed. Xiao Chen didn't like Cheng Menjing before. That's great. I don't have to worry that he will steal her one day. It seems that Xiao Chen is really a playboy. But if I were not a loyal fan of Menjing, I would also be tempted. Kerlin is really a rare little beauty. Xiao Chen didn't know how to answer. Just at this time, his phone rang. Xiao Chen was relieved. Otherwise, it would be hard for him to answer. He picked up the phone and glanced at the caller ID. It was Chen Jinpeng. If it was normal times, he would be quite annoyed with Chen Jinpeng. At this time, he was very happy. Little Pengzi, what's the matter? Xiao Chen, about the racing, have you thought about it? If it's okay, I will sign you up for the competition and leave a place for you. Otherwise, you also know that the mountain road of Fighting Dragon Mountain is overcrowded on weekends. Chen Jinpeng answered the phone and said straightforwardly. I see, but I don't have money. Although the bonus is generous, I heard that I have to pay a deposit of 200,000 yuan. I don't have that much money. When Xiao Chen saw that Chen Jinpeng was so active, he knew that it was not a good thing. This deposit is not a problem. I can lend it to you. If you win, it will be yours. If you lose, I won't ask for it. Chen Jinpeng said. How can you lend it to me? Xiao Chen asked. Then it is yours. Chen Jinpeng didn't expect that he would lose another 200,000 yuan. He had to reimburse Chao Yuliang later. Oh, okay. Then wait for me tonight. Xiao Chen said. Okay. Xiao Chen, don't forget to drive. The Porsche 991 is not bad. Chen Jinpeng reminded him. That is Jean Beibei's car. I'm not sure if she will lend it to me. Let's talk about it later. Xiao Chen said perfunctorily. Okay, I will wait for you. Chen Jinpeng curled his lips and thought, you will definitely lose if you drive a Porsche 991. If you drive a worse car, you will definitely lose. How about you lend me a car? Xiao Chen said suddenly. Chen Jinpeng was stunned. To be honest, it was not that he couldn't lend it to Xiao Chen. But the most important thing was that he had to kill Xiao Chen in the race. If he lent his car to Xiao Chen, there would be a problem. First of all, he didn't want his car to be gone forever. After all, if he wanted to kill Xiao Chen, his car might be destroyed and he would be killed. Second, if Xiao Chen's car was destroyed and he was killed, wouldn't he be suspected if he drove the car he borrowed? Chen Jinpeng didn't want to do such a strenuous and unrewarding thing. Well. Young Master Xiao, you also know that both of my cars have been tricked by Jean Beibei. How can I still have a car? I still have an old sports car. Its performance is not good. It was left by my brother. A dead man's car is so unlucky. Chen Jinpeng tried to excuse himself. Then forget it. Xiao Chen didn't mean it. However, his question further confirmed Xiao Chen's speculation. The two of them were probably going to kill him. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so reluctant to give up a car. His second thought was the same as that of Chen Jinpeng. He was afraid that his car would be destroyed and he would be killed. He suspected that they had done something to the car. Otherwise, Why would Chen Jinpeng be reluctant to give up his brother's broken car? Since he had given up 200,000 yuan, the broken car might not even be worth 200,000 yuan. Cousin-in-law, are you going to race? I want to go, too. Jean Beibei heard what Chen Jinpeng said on the other side of the phone and shouted with great interest. Lu Zhenming rolled his eyes. If Jean Beibei went, Cheng Menjing would definitely go, too. That would be a great opportunity for a date at night. However, the premise was that Xiao Chen had to agree to go. Therefore, he said in a hurry, "Wow, Xiao Chen, I have a car at home. If you don't have one, I can lend it to you. It's a modified one. I also have Jean Beibei's car. With the help of Jean Beibei's luck, we will definitely win." Jean Beibei said. Chen Jinpeng was a little speechless when he heard that. *CK, Xiao Chen's popularity is pretty good? So many people wanted to borrow his car? Who was that man? Why did Xiao Chen recruit another lackey? Also, that Jean Beibei's car is King mine. Oh, okay. See you tonight, Xiao Chen said to Chen Jinpeng. After hanging up, Jean Beibei was extremely excited. Cousin-in-law, I want to go, too. Take me with you. I like the feeling of speed. Hee hee. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded. Cousin Menjing, cousin-in-law has agreed. Why don't you go with me? Asked Jean Beibei. Well. Okay. Seeing that Jean Beibei was going, Cheng Menjing found it inappropriate to refuse. Ha. I'll go too. I'll protect you. Chapter 143. Well, let's try your craft. Xiao Chen took the 5 bowls of noodles from the tray one by one, and then returned the tray to Kerlin and said, "Let Tang Tang help you pack some fried dough twists or something. Let's go back for lunch." No. No need. Kerlin shook her head quickly. Then I'll go first. After she finished speaking, Lin Kur looked as if she was escaping. She quickly picked up the tray and was about to return. However, she was grabbed by Tang Tang and stuffed a bag of fried dough twists and sesame balls into her hands. She said, "Go back and have a taste. In order to deliver noodles to us, you were almost framed. No matter what, I have to show my gratitude." Then, "Thank you, sister." Kerlin took the bag and thanked Tang Tang with a sweet smile. "Go back, Sister Lin. Be careful on the road." Tang Tang waved her hand to her. This little girl was really weak. Tang Tang felt a little sorry for her and was afraid that someone would bully her. Some people come out to do odd jobs during work, but they also go to pick up girls. Do you think I don't exist? Cheng Menjing waited for Xiao Chen to sit down, then glared at him and said, "Pick up the noodles and treat me to it, then I will forgive you." Okay. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. If you want to eat spiced noodles, just say it. Why do you have to make so many excuses? Xiao Chen picked up the noodles in front of Cheng Menjing and handed it to Cheng Menjing again, and said, "Miss, please enjoy." That's more like it. Cheng Menjing took the noodles and nodded with satisfaction. Lu Zhenming sighed watching from the side. Xiao Chen used to be a young master. Even if he offended the Cheng family, he didn't need to torture him like this, right? However, between Cheng Menjing and Xiao Chen, he naturally preferred Cheng Menjing. At this time, it was not appropriate for him to say anything. Anyway, if Xiao Chen was willing to lose face, then so be it. Cousin-in-law, I also want VIP service, Jean Beibei said as she pointed at the board in front of her. All right. Xiao Chen picked up the noodles and handed them to Jean Beibei. Only then did she happily take them and eat them. Finally, when Xiao Chen sat down, Lu Zhenming patted his shoulder and said, "I say, Xiao Chen, it seems that being a servant is not easy. Are you like this every day?" "More or less. I'll get used to it." Xiaofan nodded and ate the noodles indifferently. To be honest, the noodles tasted good, especially the spicy chili. Seeing that Xiaofan and the others were enjoying the noodles, Lu Zhenming also took a bite. As soon as he ate it, he was so spicy that he shouted, "Damn, why is it so spicy?" Lu Zhenming didn't like chili. The soup of the noodles was not very red, but he didn't expect it to be so spicy. It was so spicy. "Little Lu, it seems that you and cousin Menjing have different tastes. Then let's not eat together in the future. Cousin Menjing and I both like Sichuan cuisine," Jean Bebe said. "Huh, I like it too. I like it a lot. I like it a lot." Lu Zhenming quickly grinned. "I like chili the most. Don't you know? I often eat steamed buns with chili." "Really? That's great." Jean Bebe threw all the chili in her bowl into Lu Zhenming's bowl. Then, she threw all the chili that was floating on the edge of Cheng Menjing's bowl into Lu Zhenming's bowl. Cheng Menjing had only eaten the spinach on the noodles and hadn't touched the noodles yet. So, she didn't touch the chili at all. Lu Zhenming didn't mind it, and Jean Bebe didn't care about it either. Instantly, there were more than 10 chili in Lu Zhenming's bowl. Well. Lu Zhenming was dumbfounded. He felt like slapping himself in the face. Why did he brag so much? Did he make a mistake? However, he couldn't say that he didn't want to eat it. He could only say, "I'll eat it slowly, little Lu, you won't dislike cousin Menjing and me, will you? Why don't you eat it?" Although Jean Bebe said so, in fact, neither she nor Cheng Menjing had touched the chili. "Of course not. I'm more than happy to eat it. Why would I dislike it? I'll eat it. I'll eat it now." Lu Zhenming took a deep breath and encouraged himself. It was the chili that Cheng Menjing had eaten before. The goddess had eaten it before. It must be delicious with the help of love. Although he knew that Cheng Menjing had never touched the chili with her chopsticks. Wow, Lu Zhenming's face turned green immediately after he ate a chili. However, he had to pretend that it was delicious. "Yes, yes. It's delicious. The chili is delicious. Eat more if you like it," Jean Bebe said with a smile. "Yes, I'm eating it," Lu Zhenming said. After a few more bites, Lu Zhenming couldn't stand it anymore. He felt that he was burning and smoking. He hurried to say, "It's getting late. There's a match in the evening. I'd better go get my car serviced." "Oh, all right. What a waste of the chili," Jean Bebe said regretfully. "How about I pack it up for you? You can eat it while watching the match. Match with chili. You'll be happy for the whole night." "Well. The noodles must be soft at night. They won't taste good." "Forget it." Lu Zhenming almost cried. Match with chili? Happy for the whole night? He was going to cry all night. Then forget it. Cousin Menjing hates people who waste food, Jean Bebe said as she handed the car key to Lu Zhenming. "Okay. Pack it up." Lu Zhenming gnashed his teeth and said. "Little Lu, you are truly a model of thrift." Jean Bebe ran to take out a food bag and poured Lu Zhenming's noodles into it. "I'll take care of it for you tonight." "Thank you." Lu Zhenming took a deep breath and gave his car key to Jean Bebe. Then, he quickly disappeared. "Bebe, he won't die from the spiciness, will he?" Cheng Menjing was a little worried. Although she didn't like Lu Zhenming, she didn't want him to die. "Don't worry. He won't die," Jean Bebe said. "All right." Cheng Menjing finished the noodles and said to Xiaofan, "Bebe and I will go back first." "Okay. See you tonight." Xiaofan nodded. He had to fry the dough sticks until the afternoon. There was still a lot of business to do. After Cheng Menjing and Jean Bebe left, Xiaochen went to sell the dough sticks, and Tang Tang came to eat the noodles. When she finished the noodles, it was time for lunch again. "Hey, are you going to take part in the car race tonight?" Tang Tang had overheard the conversation. "Yes. I'll go and have a look. Anyway, I can make money," Xiaochen nodded and said. "Then be careful. Forget it if it's dangerous," Tang Tang reminded him. "Don't worry. I'm not a kid," Xiaochen said with a smile. Tang Tang didn't say anything else. She didn't say that she was going to go in the evening. On the one hand, she had to open the stall until the evening. On the other hand, since Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei were going, it was inappropriate for her to join them. In the afternoon, Xiaochen said goodbye to Tang Tang and went back to prepare for the car race. The race at night was like a hongmen banquet, but Xiaochen had to go. Sometimes, guesses were just guesses. Only when they saw it would they be sure. Coincidentally, when Xiaochen was on his way home, he saw Lu Zhenming, who had come to deliver the car, at the entrance of the neighborhood by the Li Hua River. "Young Master Xiao, I've maintained the car. How is it? When are we leaving? I'll give them a call." Xiaochen nodded and dialed Cheng Menjing's number. He told her that he and Lu Zhenming were waiting at the gate of the residential area. This time, they arrived quickly. In less than 10 minutes, Lu Zhenming's Land Rover appeared in front of them. Lu Zhenming gave the car key to Xiaochen and was about to drive the Land Rover. Unexpectedly, Jean Beibei and Cheng Menjing got out of the car directly. Jean Beibei said, "I'm going to take the car of the rich Jean Beibei." Lu Zhenming was a little speechless. He had thought that Cheng Menjing wouldn't change cars, so he could talk to them in the car. He didn't expect that they would get out of the car as soon as they arrived. If he had known this, he wouldn't have given the car key to Xiaochen. After he got into the Land Rover gloomily, Lu Zhenming smelled the stink of food. His car had always been well maintained. He would never put anything that smelled in the car. He did not expect that his car would end up like this after Jean Beibei drove it for one afternoon. He searched the car in a hurry, only to find a plastic bag in the trunk. He was so angry that he was about to throw it out, when he suddenly remembered that it was the bag that he had promised to pack. If he threw it out, wouldn't it be a waste? Would Cheng Menjing not like him? Helpless, Lu Zhenming could only put it back. He got into his car and followed Xiaochen's. After Xiaochen got into the car, he sensed that Jean Beibei's Panamera was somewhat different from before. It must be the result of careful computer adjustment in a professional car modification shop. He did not expect that Lu Zhenming would be so attentive. However, it might be more useful for others, but for Xiaochen, who was at level 4 of the Qi refinement stage, it was almost a piece of cake for him to win the competition. Xiaochen could not be more familiar with the road from here to Fighting Dragon Mountain. When he was the young master of the Xiao family, in order to make himself more playful, Xiaochen often participated in such activities. However, most of the time, he went to watch the competition. He only participated in the competition once or twice. However, it was the first time for both Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei, so they were a bit curious, especially Jean Beibei. She had wanted to go for a long time, but no one took her there. She was not interested in ordinary boys, and Cheng Menjing would definitely not accompany her. Therefore, she was very excited to go this time. Fighting Dragon Mountain was no longer within the boundaries of Songning City. Like Songlong Mountain, this mountain was also a nearby mountain, but it belonged to Songshan City, which was next to the city. It was said that Fighting Dragon Mountain used to be a small tourist attraction, but because the contractor could not make ends meet, it was closed a few years ago. The reason was that there were too many mountains nearby. Shuangyan Mountain, which was developed later, was more beautiful than Fighting Dragon Mountain. Even Songlong Mountain, which was developed later, would be better than Fighting Dragon Mountain after it was built. The resort was newly built, and the accommodation and dining environment were good. Naturally, no one went to Fighting Dragon Mountain anymore, and the tourist attraction of Fighting Dragon Mountain had to be closed. Chapter 144. Although the scenic spot was closed, the winding mountain road still existed, although it had been in disrepair for a long time. Some of the guardrails were gone, and the road was not in good condition. However, this road had no other purpose except to lead to the top of Fighting Dragon Mountain. The businesses that operated here had all left. Who would spend money to repair the road? But even so, a nearby underworld force took a fancy to this place and developed it into a racetrack to run underground racing. Not to mention, the Fighting Dragon Mountain that no one cared about before was now bustling with noise and traffic on the weekends. One after the other, Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming's car drove to the open space in front of the Bolong Mountain racetrack. The place was already filled with all kinds of cars, and the grades of the cars were also different. From the cheapest Alto to the top of the world-famous sports cars, there was everything. Next to the cars on the open space, there were also small groups of people, chatting, drinking, and flirting with girls. Most of them were rich playboys from rich families. Xiao Chen used to be one of them. Although he didn't have a good impression of this playboy and playboy before, he had to associate himself with them. Xiao Chen parked his car. A Porsche Panamera and a Land Rover. Although they were luxury cars, they were not so eye-catching here, because there were many more expensive cars. However, the golden Panamera attracted a lot of attention, and they all wanted to have a look. Xiao Chen, Cheng Menjing, and Jean Beibei got out of the car. Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei's beauty immediately attracted the attention of many playboys, and they all came over. "There are two pretty girls over there," Fapishe said. "They are so beautiful." "Who is that man?" Fapish B said. "Don't you know him? Isn't that Xiao Chen? He is the young master of the Xiao family of the 9 big families, but he has been kicked out of the Xiao family." Fapishe said. "Then why did he bring 2 such beautiful girls with him?" Fapish B said. "A skinny camel is still bigger than a horse." Fapishe said. "Shall we go over and humiliate him? I didn't dare to step on you in the past, but now I feel quite superior." Hedonistic Second said. "That's fine too. You can also get the 2 pretty girls by his side." Hedonist First said. "Are you 2 idiots? Didn't you see what was pasted on the carriage?" Hedonist Third said. "What word?" Hedonist First asked. "Tycoon Jean Beibei's car." Hedonist C said. "Jean Beibei? Who was it?" Foppish Tyrant 2 asked. Hedonist First's expression changed upon hearing this. "She's the Jean clan's little demoness? You just found out? Didn't you almost die?" Foppish Third snorted. "Motherf asterisk cur, so scary, stay away from them." Hedonist First was so scared that he peed his pants. The Jean family had 2 ruthless people, the Golden Fur Lion King and Jean Beibei. Xiao Chen took out his phone and dialed Chen Jinpeng's number. "Little Pengzi, where are you?" "Here we are. Hurry up and pick me up. If you don't come in 10 minutes, I'll leave." Motherf asterisk cur, this Xiao Chen has been kicked out of the Xiao family, but he's still so arrogant. Why is his underling coming to pick him up when he calls? Hedonist Second asked curiously. "Who knows? I've already said that a starving camel is still bigger than a horse." Hedonist First said. "Look who it is, he's actually his underling." Hedonist Third was also a little curious. After a while, he saw Chen Jinpeng running toward him while panting. He was really afraid that Xiao Chen would turn around and leave. However, he was afraid that Xiao Chen would borrow his car, so he didn't drive here. Instead, he hitched a ride with Chao Yuliang. Now that Chao Yuliang had gone to arrange the matter against Xiao Chen, he couldn't find Chao Yuliang, so he could only run here. If he wasn't a martial artist, he would be exhausted from running down the winding mountain road. When Chen Jinpeng saw Xiao Chen in the distance, he immediately shouted, Xiao Chen, I'm here." The three fops were instantly dumbfounded. Why is this Chen Jinpeng still Xiao Chen's underling? Didn't I hear that he's already with Chao Yuliang? Or could it be that Xiao Chen had turned things around again? It's really hard to explain the affairs of the aristocratic families. Luckily, they didn't go looking for trouble just now. Otherwise, even without Jin Beibei, Chen Jinpeng could still beat them to death. Not bad, we're here in 9 minutes. Little Peng, you're still as punctual as before. Xiao Chen nodded his head in satisfaction. Huh, Xiao Chen is here to race. Of course, I have to come to welcome him. Don't worry, it's all set up. 200,000 deposit. If I win, I'll get 400,000. If I lose, I'll lose 200,000. As usual, best of 5. Chen Jinpeng introduced. In fact, it wasn't that easy to win 200,000 in a race. Best of 5 meant that you had to race at least 3 times, and you had to win all 3 times in order to get 200,000 from your opponent. The underground racetrack didn't take any commission from the racers' bets. What they earned was the peripheral bets. Yes. Xiao Chen nodded his head. Who's my opponent? I don't know yet. But Brother Liang said to try to persuade the racetrack to arrange new racers for you, so that your chances of winning will be higher. Chen Jinpeng said, of course, it doesn't matter even if he's an old racer. After all, Xiao Chen is the racing god. Ha ha ha, that's right. I won in my first race. Xiao Chen laughed after listening. I used to think that 200,000 was too little. It was meaningless to compete in person. Otherwise, I would have become a legend long ago, Xiao Chen said. And that means I'll become a legend of death. Do you really think I'm stupid? That's right. When Chen Jinpeng saw Xiao Chen's arrogant attitude, he was relieved. He was afraid that Xiao Chen would shrink back after coming. Now, it seemed that there was no problem. This Xiao Chen is still the same as before, arrogant and proud. Now, he has become greedy. Xiao Chen, don't worry. I've talked to Brother Liang. You'll be the first to race. That's good. I don't have that much time. If I win the race here, I can go back to the morning market to set up my stall. Xiao Chen nodded. Then I'll make the arrangements. By the way, Xiao Chen, which car will you be using? Chen Jinpeng asked. This Panamera. Xiao Chen pointed to Jin Beibei's car and said. No problem. Chen Jinpeng heaved a sigh of relief. This Panamera was personally remodeled by him. Although he spent a lot of money, most of the modifications were flashy and impractical. In terms of overall performance, it was a notch lower than a professional sports car. It would be a wonder if Xiao Chen could win a race with this car. Moreover, the car was Jin Beibei's. If Xiao Chen died, no one else could be blamed. Chen Jinpeng was not afraid of others, but he was afraid that the Jin family would be unhappy. After all, the Xiao family didn't care about Xiao Chen anymore, neither did the Cheng family. Only the Jin family sent out an inexplicable notice. If Xiao Chen died, the Jin family would be the only one who could stand up for him. Now, if Xiao Chen died in Jin Beibei's car, who would the Jin family blame? He nodded and went to inform Chao Yuliang happily. On the other side, Lu Xinming didn't know Xiao Chen's driving skills in the past. He thought that Xiao Chen was really awesome. His family was in the underworld, so his level was not very high. Lu Xinming had never been to an underground racetrack before. This was his first time. On the other hand, Cheng Menjing frowned. Even she could tell that there seemed to be a problem with this, yet Xiao Chen still foolishly agreed to it. She didn't know if he was really stupid or what. Sometimes he looked quite smart, but sometimes he was just a fool. When he lost money, he would cry. At this time, Cheng Menjing's phone rang. She looked at the caller ID and found it was Shen Jingxian. Hello, Jingxian. Cheng Menjing answered the phone. Menjing, is there anyone around you? Shen Jingxian deliberately lowered her voice on the other side of the phone. No. Tell me. Cheng Menjing moved aside to avoid Lu Zhenming. In fact, there was a hubbub of voices nearby. It was so noisy that they couldn't hear what was said on the phone. Menjing, I heard that Xiao Chen is coming to participate in the race. Is there such a thing? Shen Jingxian asked. Yeah, how did you know? You are here too? Cheng Menjing was a little curious. I came with Chen Jinpeng, Shen Jingxian said. Can you persuade Xiao Chen to give up the race? Why? Cheng Menjing asked. This is the case. They helped Xiao Chen sign up for the race. In fact, it was a trap set up by him and Chao Yuliang. The driver who will compete with Xiao Chen was invited by them. His name is Li Shanpao. This person often participates in some international underground races. His participation rate is very high. You can know him just by asking around. Shen Jingxian said anxiously, so, Xiao Chen can't win. It's not a big deal to lose money, but don't lose your life. This Li Shanpao is best at putting his opponents to death in racing competitions. Shen Jingxian didn't know why she called Cheng Menjing. It was reasonable to say that she and Chen Jinpeng were married, so she should stand on the side of Chen Jinpeng in the future. However, maybe she didn't like Chen Jinpeng, or maybe it was because she was kind and didn't want anything to happen to Xiao Chen. What? Cheng Menjing suddenly froze. She felt that there was a problem before, but she only thought that Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng wanted to cheat Xiao Chen of his money. They used gambler's psychology to make Xiao Chen lose money, but she didn't think that there was a possibility of killing Xiao Chen. After a while, Cheng Menjing said, I got it, Xiao Chen, come with me for a moment. After hanging up the phone, Cheng Menjing glared at Xiao Chen angrily. However, it was inappropriate to say something in front of Lu Zhenming. She had to remind Xiao Chen alone, in case he died without knowing how he died. However, after taking 2 steps, Cheng Menjing saw that Lu Zhenming was looking at her and wanted to follow her. She frowned and winked at Jean Beibei. Hey, little Lu, where are you going? Jean Beibei stopped Lu Zhenming immediately. I'm going to see what they're talking about. Lu Zhenming didn't hide anything. Anyway, he had decided to be Cheng Menjing's gum and stick to her wherever she went. Chapter 145. Are you stupid? Jean Beibei said. Huh? How am I stupid? Lu Zhenming was stunned. Cousin Menjing went to scold my cousin-in-law. If you want to be scolded together, go ahead. Jean Beibei said. Huh? Why did she scold me? Lu Zhenming didn't understand. She's on her period, and she's in a bad mood. Now that she's in such a noisy place, it's impossible for cousin Menjing to be happy. Jean Beibei said. But she can't scold me, can she? She can't scold you, can she? Then she can only scold my cousin-in-law. After all, he's a servant. I see. Lu Zhenming was greatly enlightened. He looked at Jean Beibei gratefully. Thank you. If he was scolded by Cheng Menjing for no reason, Lu Zhenming's mood would definitely hit rock bottom. He would definitely think that Cheng Menjing was no longer interested in him. You're welcome. Jean Beibei said. Actually, instead of giving money to my cousin-in-law, why don't you give some money to me? I can help you find information too. Did you make up my nickname? Huh? What nickname? Lu Zhenming asked. That's Spy Shoe 007. No, Spy Bei 007. Jean Beibei hurriedly corrected herself. Just now, she accidentally mentioned the nickname of her favorite character in the TV series. In the School Beauties TV, her favorite character was Yushu. Yushu called herself Spy Shoe 007, so Jean Beibei called herself Spy Bei 007 as well. Oh, that works too. But can I owe it to you first? I already owe Xiaochen 200,000. Look. Lu Zhenming hurriedly said. I'll give you the money when I have it. Don't forget that you still owe me 100,000. Jean Bebe said. Ah yes, I can't forget. Lu Zhenming thought to himself. As long as he could catch up with Cheng Menjing, he was willing to spend more money. Where else could he find such a good goddess? She was beautiful and had a good family background. If he could win her heart, his father might even give him tens of millions. All right, I'll help you. But don't offend my cousin-in-law. After all, he's also a servant. If he speaks ill of you, you'll be dead. Jean Bebe said. I understand. Lu Zhenming quickly nodded. By the way, can you not call him cousin-in-law? It sounds so awkward to me. You can't change your habit, Jean Bebe said. All right, if you are so troublesome, don't come to me for help. Well, it's fine. You can call him whatever you want, Lu Zhenming said hurriedly. While Jean Bebe and Lu Zhenming were wasting time talking nonsense, Cheng Menjing brought Xiao Chen to an empty corner. What's wrong? Xiao Chen looked at the young lady who was staring at him angrily and felt a little guilty. Hey, do you know that Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng are working together to set you up? Cheng Menjing said resentfully, what are you thinking? Can you believe what they say? My driving skills are not bad. You and Bebe know that, too. Xiao Chen shrugged. It's not about your driving skills. Cheng Menjing immediately became anxious. Do you know who Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng invited? They invited a racer from an international illegal car race. His name is Li Shanpao. I heard that he's very good and specializes in killing his opponents in the middle of the race. Are you courting death? Li Shanpao? Although Xiao Chen had never heard of this name, he suddenly understood. As expected, Chao Yuliang must be that guy. Has he been trying to kill me all along? But why? Is it because of Cheng Menjing? Xiao Chen knew that Chao Yuliang liked Cheng Menjing. However, he was Cheng Menjing's fiancé in the past. It was still reasonable for Chao Yuliang to kill him. Now that he was no longer her fiancé, was there still a need for him to do so? Okay, don't worry about it. Don't go to the race. Do you hear me? Cheng Menjing glared at Xiao Chen. I don't want my servant to die without food. Hee, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll be fine. Xiao Chen smiled. If it were an ordinary person in the past, then Xiao Chen would definitely retreat. But now he was a powerful cultivator at the 4th level of the Qi refinement stage. What was there to be afraid of? Kill me in the race? I can still kill him. Who isn't good at it? Once the cultivators appeared, who could compete with them? You. Cheng Menjing was stunned by Xiao Chen's words. Are you sick? Do you want to die? You. If you die in my hands, how can I face Uncle Xiaofeng in the future? I really won't die. Xiao Chen smiled. It's not certain who will die. Menjing, you should believe me. When have I ever lied to you? Humph. You don't know how many things I don't know about you. Cheng Menjing snorted coldly. Okay, I've already agreed. Getting cold feet isn't my style. Besides, how do you know about Li Shanpao? Xiao Chen asked. Of course, Jingxian called me and told me. Let me tell you. Luckily Jingxian has a good heart. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know how you died. Cheng Menjing said angrily. I got it. Let's go back. The race is about to start. Xiao Chen didn't explain much. Some things couldn't be explained even if he explained. What's more, in addition to investigating the real culprit behind the scenes, Xiao Chen was really short of money. Tonight, he had to buy medicine again. God knows how much this new medicine would cost. Whether the 175 million yuan in his hands would be enough was another question. You. Looking at Xiaochen turning around and leaving, Miss stomped her feet angrily. You. Go to hell. I'm really nosy. At this time, an Audi A6L drove to the place where Xiaochen parked before. Soon, the car stopped, and Chao Yuliang, Chen Jinpeng, and Shen Jingxian came out from inside. Chao Yuliang's face still had some injuries from being beaten up by Lu Zhenming. At a glance, he saw Lu Zhenming not far away and frowned. He already knew who this person was. The young master of the Lu family, Lu Zhenming. However, Chao Yuliang's face was extremely gloomy because he had just received a call from the Chao family, telling him that the martial arts dojo that the Chao family had just invested in was destroyed by the Chao family. The people who destroyed the dojo were all martial artists. After destroying it, they even clamored that it was their young master, Lu Zhenming's idea. Therefore, at this moment, when he saw Lu Zhenming, if it wasn't for his high tolerance, Chao Yuliang would have gone up to beat him up directly. Is there something wrong with this guy? Has he always been going against me? Did I provoke him? However, after thinking about it carefully, Chao Yuliang also thought about it. This Lu Zhenming also pursued Cheng Menjing. Could it be because of Cheng Menjing? Thinking about it, there was only one reason. Otherwise, what kind of relationship could I have with him? As soon as he thought of this, Chao Yuliang's mood was very bad. Although the Lu family wasn't as good as the Chao family, the family generally wouldn't intervene in the fight between the younger generation as long as no one died. Adversity produced talents. Only with competition could one grow. If the family's children always had it easy, how could they take over the family in the future? Isn't this young Master Lu? He, very good, very good. I, Chao Yuliang, have never suffered such a loss since I was young. I'll remember you. As soon as Chao Yuliang came up, he walked in front of Lu Zhenming and said in a gloomy tone. This was also his character on the surface. He was the same as the previous Xiaochen, arrogant and insolent. He couldn't hide anything and had to be quick with his words. Who are you? Lu Zhenming took a closer look and immediately recognized the person in front of him. He reached out and slapped him. With a crisp "pa" sound, half of Chao Yuliang's face swelled up again. It's you, kid. Why? You want to do bad things to Cheng Menjing again? I'm telling you, don't act tough in front of me. If you want to talk about acting tough, I'm your ancestor. You're still too inexperienced to play dirty with me. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and F***ck off. Don't be an eyesore here. Chao Yuliang was about to explode. He almost revealed his peak level 3 martial artist inner force. However, Xiaochen and Cheng Menjing were there. He naturally couldn't expose his strength. He could only endure it. Lu Zhenming, you remember me. I'm the Chao family's Chao Yuliang. Oh? Chao family? Chao Yuliang? This time, Lu Zhenming finally remembered who the kid in front of him was. He naturally knew about the Chao family. It was also one of the 4 big and 5 small families in Songning City. And this person was actually a child of the Chao family? Humph. Today, you let people sweep my family's martial arts school. Very well, very well. We have the chance to fight. Chao Yuliang glared at Lu Zhenming fiercely. Are you pretending? Still pretending not to know me? You don't know me, but you let people sweep my Chao family's martial arts school? Who are you trying to fool? The martial arts school belongs to a dumb *SS like you. Although Lu Zhenming had heard of Chao Yuliang, he wasn't afraid of him at the moment. Even if the Lu family was weak, they were still involved in the underworld. Although their level was low, their strength wasn't weak. Between the families, as long as there wasn't a big conflict, who would risk their lives like Golden Fur Lion King? Heh, very well. Chao Yuliang was really angry today. This Lu Zhenming seemed to be determined to go against him. If that's the case, then let's see who can win the beauty. Up to you. Lu Zhenming thought to himself. Do you have such superior conditions? I have Xiaochen to inform me, and I have the spy, Bei 007. What do you have? Brother Liang. Chen Jinpeng quickly tugged at Chao Yuliang's sleeves when he saw that the two of them were at loggerheads. He signaled to Chao Yuliang not to be impulsive and forget about the important matter at hand. I don't want to talk to a lowly person like you. Chao Yuliang took a deep breath and turned to Xiao Chen. He nodded and said, Xiao Chen, it's all arranged. It's a newcomer who will compete with you. He has never competed in fighting Dragon Mountain. If you win the competition, remember my kindness in the future. We used to compete, but now the competition doesn't exist anymore. I will trouble you to take care of Cheng Menjing's matter. Regardless of whether Chao Yuliang was sincere or not, at least he could see that Lu Zhenming fawned on Xiao Chen. It seemed that he wanted Xiao Chen to help him pursue Cheng Menjing. Otherwise, Chao Yuliang really couldn't think of why Lu Zhenming would help Xiao Chen again and again. Chapter 146. No problem. I'll help whoever pays me. Xiao Chen pretended to be a money grubber. Cheng Menjing was almost driven mad in the back. Is this guy an idiot? You'll help them pursue me if they pay you? Do you have any shame at all? You used to be my fiancé, all right? Was there such a shameless thing in the world? Let's go to the stadium now. The first match is ours. Chao Yuliang said, just drive to the check-in area. The match is about to begin. You don't need to get out of the car. Okay. Beibei, you can take Lu Zhenming's car later, Xiao Chen said to Jean Beibei. Ah, all right. Jean Beibei knew what was important and what was not. Although she wanted to join in the fun, watching the live broadcast was equally exciting. She was afraid that she would distract Xiao Chen if she got in the car. Shen Jingxian looked at Cheng Menjing and did not say anything. Cheng Menjing gave her a helpless look and said in a low voice, some people don't like me. He won't believe me even if I tell him. Why don't you talk to him? Me? Shen Jingxian smiled bitterly and shook her head. Based on the few times she had spent with Xiao Chen, she did not think that Xiao Chen was an idiot. Not only was he not an idiot, he was also very assertive. If Xiao Chen had not pursued her brainlessly, it would have been difficult for her to connect the Xiao Chen from that night with the Xiao Chen in the past. They were like two different people. Therefore, Shen Jingxian did not think that Xiao Chen would listen to her just because he liked her in the past. On the contrary, if Xiao Chen really did not care about Cheng Menjing, he would not have worked as her servant. At this moment, Xiao Chen had gotten into the Panamera, and Jean Beibei had gotten into Lu Zhenming's car. Shen Jingxian waved her hand at Cheng Menjing and said, I'm going. You, think of something else. Where can I think of something? Cheng Menjing stamped her feet anxiously. Seeing that Xiao Chen had started the car, Cheng Menjing was anxious. She walked over, opened the door of the Panamera, and got in. What are you doing in the car? Xiao Chen was stunned when he saw his mistress buckling her seatbelt after getting into the car. Hurry up and start the car. Cheng Menjing said fiercely. Xiao Chen was stunned, and an indescribable feeling of gratitude welled up in his heart. Although my mistress is usually fierce to me, she cares about me most at the critical moment. She is really a good person. Why didn't I cherish her before? Xiao Chen was a little regretful. At this critical moment, Cheng Menjing had no way to persuade Xiao Chen. She could only get into the car by herself. In this way, even if Chao Yuliang had any evil thoughts, he had to put them away. At most, Xiao Chen would lose the competition, but he would never let Li Shanpao kill Xiao Chen. Naturally, Xiao Chen understood Cheng Menjing's idea very soon. He did not refuse her kindness. With the cultivation of level 4 Qi refining stage, it shouldn't be a problem to protect a person with all his strength. It was just that he didn't know if there would be a problem. After starting the car, Xiaochen followed Lu Zhenming's Land Rover. In the rearview mirror, Chao Yuliang saw that Cheng Menjing actually got into Cheng Menjing's car. His face suddenly turned gloomy. What was Cheng Menjing doing in the car? Could it be that she had never participated in a car race before and was curious to play? Only Shen Jingshuan's eyes flashed a trace of undetectable strangeness on her calm face. She understood what Cheng Menjing wanted to do, but Shen Jingxian really couldn't figure out. Since when did Xiaochen occupy such an important position in Cheng Menjing's heart? She actually put herself in danger? Or was she sure that Chao Yuliang would be afraid because of her? However, looking at Chao Yuliang's face, it should be so. Chen Jinpeng was also a little stunned. Just when he wanted to say something, he was stopped by Chao Yuliang. Jinpeng, drive. This time, Chao Yuliang sat in the front passenger seat and let Chen Jinpeng drive. Oh, okay. Chen Jinpeng nodded, started the car, and drove in the direction of the racetrack. Several cars came to the vicinity of the Bolong Mountain racetrack. The race was divided into 3 rounds. The first round was a speed race. The racetrack was a lap around the bottom of Bolong Mountain. It was similar to the F1 racetrack. Although it was a little curved, it was straight and flat without many rugged roads. This was actually a competition of skills when turning. The one who didn't slow down would have a greater chance of winning in the end. Xiaochen parked his car at the starting point of the racetrack, while Lu Zhenming and Chao Yuliang's cars were parked in the parking lot of the auditorium. Jin Beibei, why did Goddess Menjing get in Xiaochen's car? Lu Zhenming had wanted to watch the race with Cheng Menjing, but unexpectedly, Cheng Menjing got in his car. I don't know. Maybe it's because she has never participated in a racing competition before. Maybe she decided to take a look on a whim. Jin Beibei was also a little puzzled as to why Cheng Menjing would suddenly participate in a race with Xiaochen. Oh, I see. Nothing bad will happen to her, right? He was not worried that something would happen to Xiaochen and Cheng Menjing. If something could happen between them, it would have happened in the villa. Why did they have to do it in the car? Besides, if they wanted to have car sex in a race, they would definitely die early. Didn't you think that my cousin-in-law's driving skills were good and that he would definitely win? Don't you have confidence in yourself? Jin Beibei asked. That's impossible. Lu Zhenming shook his head in a hurry. Fine. Let's just watch the race. Take a seat first. I'll go get some water. Chao Yuliang took a deep breath and said to Chen Jinpeng and Shen Jingxian, who were already sitting in the auditorium. Then, he stood up and walked to the parking lot. He found a place where nobody was around and dialed a number. Mr. Chao, what can I do for you? I've made a plan. Just watch my performance in the race. The racer Li Shanpao's voice came from the phone. Mr. Li, forget about the first race. Postpone the plan. Chao Yuliang said, just focus on the first race. Don't touch him. It won't be good if something goes wrong in the first race. Oh, okay. I got it. Li Shanpao didn't question him. After all, Chao Yuliang was the one who paid for the race. He would do whatever he was told to do. It's not easy to cause a car accident on the track of the first race. If I have to cause a car accident, it will be too obvious that it was caused by someone. I don't want to get into trouble. Okay. Wait for my news, Chao Yuliang said with a nod. After hanging up the phone, Chao Yuliang heaved a sigh of relief. The person he wanted to kill was Xiaochen, not Cheng Menjing. If Cheng Menjing died, then wouldn't he have put up such a show for nothing? However, since there was a change in the plan, he had to inform the person in charge of the racetrack and continue to arrange for the next race. He had thought that Xiao Chen would die in the first race. Walking to the first VIP room not far away, Chao Yuliang said, "Brother Xiaochun, it's me. There's a change in the situation." The person in charge of the racetrack was called Huang Yang, nicknamed Huang Xiaochun. He was a small leader of a gang in Songshan. Although he couldn't control the affairs of Songshan, he didn't dare to be arrogant in front of Chao Yuliang. He quickly released the girl in his arms and stood up. He smiled at Chao Yuliang and said, "So it's young Master Chao. What's wrong? Isn't it the one who killed your opponent in the race? Don't mention it. The lady I'm pursuing is in the car. I can only give up this race." Chao Yuliang shook his head and didn't hide it. If he wanted to do something to the racetrack, he had to go through Huang Xiaochun. Young Master Chao, even heroes have a weakness for the charms of a beauty. But as a man, I really like this little sister of mine. Maybe I'll marry her. Huang Xiaochun laughed and said to the girl from before, "Lei Lei, aren't you going to greet your teammate?" "Hello, young Master Chao." The girl called Lei Lei lowered her head and carefully greeted Chao Yuliang. Chao Yuliang didn't mind. He nodded and said, "All right, Brother Xiaochun, I'll go back first. We'll talk about the next race later." "No problem." Huang Xiaochun nodded. On the other side of the racetrack, the music for the preparation started. The race was about to begin. Contestants for the first race, Song TTT 777 and Song 741741. Both racers, please get ready. Along with the music, the commentator's voice came from the speakers. This was a necessary procedure before the race. "Contestants, please get in position." "What the hell is this car number?" Cheng Menjing frowned. This was obviously a fake car number. How could there be a car with a song number starting with 7? How infuriating. Xiao Chen glanced at the car number and read, "Infuriate yourself, infuriate yourself." It's hard to say who will be infuriated. If you get in the car, Chao Yuliang will be the first to die. Humph. You know? When Cheng Menjing heard Xiao Chen's words, she rolled her eyes and said, "You have to obey my orders from now on. Take care of me, treat me well, be a qualified servant, and treat me like my savior. It's always been like this." Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. "It has to be better." Cheng Menjing said. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded. The opponent's car was relatively rare. It was a modified Mitsubishi car. However, the people who came to race actually knew that the brand of the car wasn't that important in this race. The most important thing was the modification. Who knew how to modify it? Even a car that cost tens of thousands of yuan could be driven like a plane. Looking at the driver of the car, that person didn't look at Xiao Chen, but focused on preparing. This was the usual reaction of a rookie. Generally, a rookie would be so nervous. However, Xiao Chen knew that this was all on the surface. This Li Shanpao deliberately pretended to be like this. In fact, this person was a professional racer. However, Xiao Chen didn't expose him. He just smiled at him indifferently. Li Shanpao seemed to be overwhelmed by Xiao Chen's smile. He smiled shyly. If one didn't know better, they would think that he was a rookie. Chapter 147. Cheng Menjing was a little angry. She opened the car window and snorted at Li Shanpao, "Humph. I know you. Aren't you called Li Shanpao? A professional racer came here to compete. Don't you feel ashamed?" Li Shanpao was slightly stunned. A touch of suspicion flashed through his eyes. He frowned casually and lowered his head. He didn't look at Xiao Chen anymore, as if it had nothing to do with him no matter what they did. In fact, Cheng Menjing was not acting on impulse. The meaning of her words was very simple. She was warning Li Shanpao that she had already seen through him. If anything went wrong in the race, the Qing family was not just for show. Xiaofan shook his head. He knew that the first miss meant well, so he didn't remind her. In fact, although the Qing family seemed to be very big and powerful, it was only limited to Songning City. At most, it had a lot of influence in the province, but when it came to the Xia kingdom and the entire international society, it didn't have much influence. This Li Shanpao often participated in international illegal car races, and the Qing family's influence on him was minimal. Moreover, he was hired by Qiao Yuliang. If he was afraid of other aristocratic families, he wouldn't have come. "Hey, I'm talking to you. Didn't you hear me?" Seeing that Li Shanpao ignored her, Cheng Menjing was a little angry. "Little girl, don't talk nonsense. Trouble comes from the mouth." Li Shanpao was also a ruthless person. No one who participated in illegal car races was easy to deal with. Lu Zhenming was bored sitting there, so he decided to come over with Jean Beibei to see Cheng Menjing. Anyway, the race hadn't officially started yet. However, as soon as he walked to the car, he heard Li Shanpao threatening Cheng Menjing in the car. Lu Zhenming was angry at once. He directly rushed over and knocked on the car door with his hand. "Little bastard, get out of the car. Who are you scolding? Are you pretending? Do you know who likes her?" Li Shanpao didn't expect that his casual threat would attract such a guy. He frowned and was about to close the car window. However, they did not expect Lu Zhenming to reach out and block the rising window. Li Shanpao sneered in his heart. "You dare to use your hands to block the electric window? My car window doesn't have an anti-pinching function. Just you wait to cry." However, what he didn't expect was that with the sound of gears dislocating, the rising window was directly pressed down by Lu Zhenming. He was a master of inner force. Although he had not reached the level of a martial artist, the strength of the car window could not do anything to him. "You dare to clamp me? Get out of my car." Lu Zhenming yanked open the car door and pulled Li Shanpao out. He kicked Li Shanpao a few times and made him fall to the ground. Qiao Yuliang had just left Huang Xiaochun's place when he saw Lu Zhenming beating up his racer. He immediately became anxious. He hurriedly returned and said, "This is bad, big bro Xiaochun. Someone is causing trouble in the garage and is beating up my driver." "What? Someone dares to cause trouble in my, Huang Xiaochun's garage? I'll go and see." Huang Xiaochun received benefits from Qiao Yuliang, so he was also very active. He followed Qiao Yuliang and ran out. However, when he saw who was beating up his driver, he suddenly frowned. Although Lu Zhenming had never come to Fighting Dragon Mountain to play, he was the leader of the small racetrack here. Huang Xiaochun had long since obtained the information of the famous young masters in the area. He knew exactly what kind of person Lu Zhenming was. This was the young master of the Lu family gang in Songning City. The Lu family gang and the gang that he belonged to also had a cooperative relationship, so Huang Xiaochun really didn't dare to do anything to Lu Zhenming. He could only run over and persuade, "Young Master Lu, please calm down. If you beat up this person, then the race can't continue, right?" Lu Zhenming turned his head and looked at Huang Xiaochun. "Who are you?" "I'm the person in charge here, Huang Xiaochun. Young Master Lu, please give me some face." Huang Xiaochun didn't dare to force it, even though Qiao Yuliang was watching over there. "Okay, young Master Lu, that's enough." Xiao Chen spoke at this time. Even if this person was beaten to death, Qiao Yuliang would still arrange for other racers. It didn't make much sense. "Okay, I'll listen to Xiao Chen." Lu Zhenming nodded and stopped. He pointed to Li Shanpao on the ground and said, "Kid, I'm telling you, if you continue to act pretentious in front of me, I'll let you go out lying down." After that, Lu Zhenming turned around and returned to the auditorium, because the preparatory music for the race was already playing in the stadium. The race was about to begin. Lu Zhenming deliberately made himself look cool in order to leave a good impression on Cheng Menjing. If he went to ask for credit after beating up someone, it would be like what Jean Bebe said. Cheng Menjing hated such people the most. Are you all right? Seeing that Lu Zhenming had left, Chao Yuliang glanced at Li Shanpao. I'm sorry. That person is our friend. He's a little hot-tempered. He's a hot-tempered king. Don't take it to heart. Chao Yuliang's words seemed to have nothing to do with Li Shanpao, and he was just concerned about him as a fellow racer. However, he was also testing whether Li Shanpao could race. I'm all right. In fact, Li Shanpao was also a master of inner strength. However, he was a little stunned after being beaten by Lu Zhenming. They were all superficial wounds, which would not affect his racing. I'm sorry. I'm leaving now. Chao Yuliang nodded to him and then said to Xiao Chen, come on. Their racer is injured. If you lose again, it will be too embarrassing. Huh, of course. Xiao Chen laughed and said, don't worry. I'm sure I'll win. Although Xiao Chen said so, he sneered in his heart. Chao Yuliang was really good at finding opportunities. Li Shanpao was injured. If something happened to Xiao Chen, he could only blame himself for being too weak. After Chao Yuliang and Huang Xiaochun left, the race was about to begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The sound of the countdown of the race came from the loudspeaker in the stadium. At the same time the number 1 was shouted, the referee also waved the small flag in his hand. Li Shanpao quickly shifted gears and stepped on the accelerator. The Mitsubishi was like a sharp sword. Boom, it rushed out. Looking at Xiao Chen's side, he hadn't started his car yet. Hey, what are you doing? Cheng Menjing was a little anxious. Xiao Chen, why don't you drive? I'm preparing. Xiao Chen smiled and said, it's not fat to be fat first. The fat later will overwhelm the Kong. What nonsense are you talking about? If you don't drive, just admit defeat. Cheng Menjing thought that Xiao Chen was afraid, but he insisted on participating in the race because he wanted to save face. Hee. Xiao Chen started the car, and the Panamera also quickly sped out. However, the Mitsubishi was in front. It had already driven for a few hundred meters. It was obvious that there was a gap between it and Xiao Chen. Although this racetrack wasn't as dangerous as the mountain road, because the Fighting Dragon Mountain wasn't a regular shape, the road below naturally had bends and curves. It was very fast. Therefore, even if Li Shanpao's driving skills were good, he didn't dare to keep stepping on the accelerator. That was purely courting death. But even so, the speed of the Mitsubishi was maintained at 170 to 80 miles per hour. On this road that wasn't a professional racetrack, it was already very rare. However, although Li Shanpao's speed was fast, Xiao Chen's speed was faster. Xiao Chen's foot hadn't stepped on the brake since he started the car. In the small bends, Xiao Chen relied on his precise operation skills to pass the corners smoothly. In the big bends, Xiao Chen pulled the handbrake and performed a small drift with the steering wheel. Therefore, in the blink of an eye, the Panamera caught up with the Mitsubishi. For his own driving skills, Xiao Chen didn't mind exposing them. This had nothing to do with strength. If he revealed it, he wouldn't be hated by others. A prodigal young master, even if he drove a car like a spaceship, if he didn't have martial strength, he could only be defined as a loafer in the aristocratic families. Cheng Menjing was scared by Xiao Chen. She didn't expect Xiao Chen's speed to be so fast. When he was passing the corners, the car had a feeling that it was flying. Why are you so fast? Are you courting death? Cheng Menjing was anxious. It's nothing. Xiao Chen shook his head because he could see that the Mitsubishi in front was also a master. Li Shanpao saw the performance of Xiao Chen's Panamera from the rearview mirror, and he was shocked. Previously, he didn't put Xiao Chen in his eyes at all, so he didn't use too many skills when he was driving. In fact, he could do what Xiaofan did. However, that was in some international professional competitions. He would only concentrate on such precise drifting calculations. This time, he didn't take it seriously. He didn't study the track beforehand. Therefore, if he were to drift like this with Xiaofan, it would undoubtedly be very dangerous. It was equivalent to courting death. Li Shanpao regretted it a little. When Chao Yuliang looked for him, he didn't take it seriously. A dignified international underground racing champion came to a small place like Bolong Mountain to race. How could he take it seriously? He could win easily. However, Li Shanpao didn't expect that Xiaofan was also a master. This person's control of the Panamera had reached the realm of being one with the car. This was the highest realm in a racing competition. Although Li Shanpao's Mitsubishi was also modified, it wasn't Li Shanpao's car. It was a car that he randomly found in Chao Yuliang's garage. He felt that it was a waste of a car to use his own car in this kind of competition. Motherf ***, I underestimated my opponent. Li Shanpao cursed in his heart. Although in this competition, according to Chao Yuliang's intention, he wouldn't make a move on Xiaofan for the time being. However, if he lost, it would be a disgrace in Li Shanpao's racing career. Without a choice, Li Shanpao could only keep accelerating and accelerating. Although the Mitsubishi was a modified car, it was Li Shanpao's first day driving it. He was unfamiliar with the track. How could he perform to the fullest? Not long after, Xiaofan's Panamera passed him with a swoosh. TSK, what? It's just a so-so. It's not as good as my driver. Cheng Menjing looked at the Mitsubishi behind her with contempt. She had trained when she was a child. Although she wasn't a martial artist, her adaptability was still very strong. Therefore, she was used to it. She didn't feel that the speed was too fast. She even felt that it was very exciting. Chapter 148. See? I told you he could win. Xiaofan nodded. You didn't lie to me. Otherwise, would have taught you a lesson. Cheng Menjing nodded. Hurry up. Hurry up. Li Shanpao was a little anxious. He had really misjudged him. How could this guy be a foppish young master? Even the racers in international competitions were not as good as him. However, in Li Shanpao's opinion, Xiaofan had the advantage of the car and the racetrack, which were familiar to him. It was reasonable for him to perform so well. In fact, Xiaofan had not performed well at all. He could have gone faster, but he was afraid that Cheng Menjing would not have been able to take it. What's the point of having a good car? Li Shanpao gnashed his teeth in anger. He held the steering wheel tightly, but there was nothing he could do. His car was not as good as Qin Haodong's, and he was not as familiar with the racetrack as Qin Haodong's. The expert knew the ropes, while the layman just enjoyed the show. In fact, in this underground racetrack, no one, including Huang Xiaochun himself, knew much about racing. They were all laymen, and they just enjoyed the show. Moreover, Xiaofan and Li Shanpao had gone far away. The live stream could not see their situation at all. After all, this was not a professional racetrack, and it was impossible to broadcast it live or take aerial shots. The only way to judge the racing was that there were two virtual car patterns on the big screen, one in red and the other in blue, which were two GPS systems installed on Xiaofan's and Li Shanpao's cars respectively. Through these GPS systems, the audience could judge the outcome of the race. Therefore, whether Xiaofan had drifted or not, the audience could not see it at all. The only thing they could see was that he had overtaken Li Shanpao. Wow, 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 my cousin-in-law is so awesome. He has overtaken me successfully. Looking at the screen of the live stream, Jean Bebe waved her hands and shouted. Chao Yuliang did not pay much attention to it. He thought that Li Shanpao had received his order to deliberately go easy on Xiao Chen in the first round in order to cultivate Xiao Chen's arrogance, so that he could defeat Xiao Chen in the next race. Yeah, I knew it. I helped him apply for a newcomer. With Xiao Chen's driving skills, he will definitely win. Chao Yuliang said lightly. Well, I'm a little hungry. I'll go buy something to eat. Lu Zhenming didn't find it interesting, and he and Jean Bebe didn't have anything in common. Therefore, he wanted to go to the dining car to buy something. Huang Xiaochun also ran a lot of other businesses in the racetrack. In addition to gambling, he also sold drinks, food, cigarettes, and alcohol, which brought him a lot of money. Little Lu, don't you still have a board? Jean Bebe reminded him. Ah, yes. Lu Zhenming slapped the back of his head and nodded with a pained expression. I'll go get it now. Lu Zhenming walked to his car and took the board noodles that he hadn't finished in the morning. He was about to eat it. Chao Yuliang glanced at him and was instantly amused. Lu Zhenming, your hobby is really special. The noodles are all stuck together, and you still want to eat it? What? I like this kind of food. I won't eat it if it's not sticky. After saying that, Lu Zhenming ate it with big mouthfuls. I like to eat it. What are you going to do about it? Chao Yuliang wanted to say something sarcastic to Lu Zhenming, but Chao Yuliang couldn't do anything about this guy's ignorance. He could only shut up. The board noodles were cold. Although it tasted bad, it wasn't as spicy as before. Plus, Lu Zhenming was really hungry, so he finished it in a few bites and burped. Delicious. At the racetrack, what Chao Yuliang didn't know was that Li Shanpao was furious. No matter how hard he sped up, he couldn't catch up with Xiao Chen. He had no choice but to drift at the corners. However, in his situation, he would be digging his own grave if he went on like this. He wouldn't die if he didn't dig his own grave. As expected, when he was making a sharp turn, Li Shanpao didn't see clearly and miscalculated. He had to brake and turn the steering wheel. Even so, his Mitsubishi still crashed into the fence on the roadside and crashed into the field next to it. Although he was fine, his car was stuck in the mud of the field. It was impossible for him to get out in a short time. F***ck. Li Shanpao was a little discouraged when he realized that he had no hope of catching up. This was a humiliation for him. Fortunately, few people in this race knew him. Moreover, he could totally tell Chao Yuliang that he lost because his car was not good enough. Thinking of this, Li Shanpao felt a little better. He got out of the car and pushed it hard, intending to push it back to the road. Why did the car with the license plate number 741741 stop? Jean Bebe pointed at the big screen curiously. Maybe there's something wrong with the car. Chao Yuliang thought that Li Shanpao deliberately gave in to Xiao Chen, so he didn't care about it at all. Oh, then my cousin-in-law won. Jean Bebe nodded after listening. When Xiao Chen ran a lap and crossed the finish line, the Mitsubishi behind him was still nowhere to be seen. However, there was no doubt that this race was Xiao Chen's victory. Although this was Xiao Chen's racetrack and Chao Yuliang had informed him beforehand, Xiao Chen's victory was his victory. No one could lie through their eyes. Panasonic TTT 777 won this race. The voice of Xiao Chen's victory came from the loudspeaker. See, I said he could win, didn't I? Xiao Chen said. Humph, that Li Shanpao is too weak. Cheng Menjing said, he can't even drive his own car well. He drove into the mud. How could such a racer be famous internationally? High participation rate? Why didn't he die? Chao Yuliang must be bragging. Hee, that's right. That's why I said there's no need to be afraid. Xiao Chen said with a smile. In fact, Xiao Chen knew that if it wasn't for his constant drifting that made Li Shanpao anxious, he wouldn't have been in such a hurry to catch up with him and accidentally drove into the quagmire. Jean Bebe ran over and congratulated him. "Wow, my cousin-in-law is so awesome. He really is a transformer or an Autobot. In fact, I have to thank Lu Zhenming. If he hadn't modified the car with a mechanical handbrake, it would have been difficult for me to drift." Xiao Chen pushed Lu Zhenming out. "This car has been modified very well. Young Master Lu is the greatest contributor. The Panamera's handbrake was an electronic handbrake. It was barely possible for it to drift. Most professional racers would modify a mechanical handbrake, which was common sense for racers. Lu Zhenming had found a professional modification factory to modify the car. In fact, he didn't even know what part of the car he modified. All he cared about was paying for it." Hearing Xiao Chen's compliment, Lu Zhenming was immediately overjoyed. He thought that Xiao Chen was intentionally praising him in front of Cheng Menjing. He was very happy. Isn't this what I should do?" Looking at Xiao Chen's arrogant face, Chao Yuliang sneered in his heart. "I let you win once, and you really think you are awesome?" "However," he said on the surface, "Xiao Chen, shouldn't you thank me this time? If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have been able to race here." That's true. When I completely win this race, I will definitely thank your 8 generations of ancestors." Xiao Chen smiled faintly. Chao Yuliang's face was stiff. Why does Xiao Chen's word sound so awkward? Thank 8 generations of ancestors? At this time, Li Shanpao's Mitsubishi car arrived late. The car was full of scratches and mud. It was as embarrassing as one could imagine. Originally, Li Shanpao wanted to say that he deliberately gave in to Xiao Chen, but the scratches and mud on the car were too obvious. He couldn't deny it even if he wanted to. Seeing Li Shanpao's car, Chao Yuliang was slightly stunned. What's going on? Could it be that he drove into a ditch? However, although there were doubts in his heart, Chao Yuliang didn't ask on the surface. He chatted with Xiao Chen for a while and left. After finding a place with no one, he dialed Li Shanpao's phone. "Young Master Chao, the opponent's car has been professionally modified and tuned. It is very suitable for this kind of track and drifting. My car isn't good. It's not an opponent at all. Its flexibility and control are not as strong as the opponent's. I accidentally drifted into the ditch on the side." Li Shanpao said. "What? You didn't deliberately give in to him?" Chao Yuliang was slightly stunned. "I didn't kill him, but I didn't have to give in to him, right?" Li Shanpao smiled bitterly. "The opponent's car is really good." However, Li Shanpao also pushed the blame to Xiao Chen's car. He didn't say that Xiao Chen won because of his good skills. As expected. "I got it. What are you going to do in the next round?" Chao Yuliang was very upset. Motherf ***, it's Lu Zhenming again. This car was modified by Lu Zhenming for Xiao Chen. Were you sent by the heavens to deliberately oppose me? Why do you always target me? Why? I have asked my junior, Lin Chao, to drive my personal car over. I will use my car to compete with him. Li Shanpao said. That's good. Chao Yuliang nodded and said, in the next round, you will be racing on the mountain road. It should be easier to kill Xiao Chen. I understand. Li Shanpao said. Soon, Li Shanpao's personal car was sent back. This car was a Ford GT500. In the circle of aristocrats, it wasn't a very popular car. Many people hadn't even heard of it. However, Li Shanpao loved this car very much. This Ford GT500 was also modified to the extreme by him. The contestants for the second race, Song TTT 777 and Song 741741, please get ready. The venue for the second race will be changed to the mountain section. Along with the sound of the music, the commentator's voice could be heard from the speakers. Xiaofan raised his head and took a look at the winding mountain path that circled around the Fighting Dragon Mountain. He took a deep breath. This racetrack was different from the previous racetrack. This was a really dangerous place. Although there was a guardrail on the side of the mountain road, in fact, with the speed of the car, the guardrail was almost completely useless. For this race, I will do it myself. Xiaofan looked at Cheng Menjing in the front passenger seat. It's too dangerous. You should get off. Chapter 149. Humph. How dare you look down on me? Let me tell you, I'm much braver than you are. Cheng Menjing snorted and said, start the car now. All right. Seeing Cheng Menjing's reaction, Xiaofan knew that it was useless to persuade her, so he could only start the car. Li Shanpao changed to the Ford GT500 and drove to the starting point of the Panshan racetrack. Seeing that Cheng Menjing did not get out of the car, Chao Yuliang was slightly stunned. Then he said to Jean Bebe, ask Menjing to get out of the car. The Panshan racetrack is different from the racetrack below. It's easy to get carsick if the car is too fast. Those who are not used to racing will not be able to stand it. Is that so? Jean Bebe was not interested. Cheng Menjing and Xiaofan were both in the car, and Lu Zhenming was the only one left. She did not even have anyone to talk to. After thinking for a while, she called Cheng Menjing. What's up, Bebe? Cheng Menjing picked up the phone. Are you still in my cousin-in-law's car? Are you coming down to accompany me? Asked Jean Bebe. No, I'm fine here, said Cheng Menjing. But Chao Yuliang said that the Panshan racetrack is different from the regular racetrack. It's easy to get carsick, said Jean Bebe. Did Chao Yuliang ask you to call me? Asked Cheng Menjing. Yes, said Jean Bebe. Then I can't go down. All right. That's all, Bebe. After saying that, Cheng Menjing hung up the phone first, because the race was about to begin. Holding the phone, Jean Bebe was slightly stunned. She looked at Chao Yuliang's expectant eyes, deep in thought. How is it, Bebe? Is Menjing coming down? Asked Chao Yuliang in a hurry after she finished the call. No, cousin Menjing might like to pursue the feeling of speed. She has fallen in love with racing. Jean Bebe said. After hearing Jean Bebe's words, Chao Yuliang's eyebrows furrowed tightly. He was ready to kill Xiaofan in this game, but he didn't expect that Cheng Menjing was still in Xiaofan's car. How was he supposed to make a move? Although he really wanted to pull Cheng Menjing down personally, he couldn't do that. It was impossible for Cheng Menjing to listen to him. Moreover, if he did so, wouldn't he expose his purpose? Thinking of this, he had no choice but to send a message to Li Shanpao, cancel the plan. You just have to win this match. Okay. Not long after, Li Shanpao replied. For Li Shanpao, he would do whatever Chao Yuliang asked him to do. After all, he was his employer. It didn't matter if he still got the commission for each game. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The sound of the countdown for the second match came from the loudspeaker in the stadium. At the same time the number 1 was shouted, the referee also waved the small flag in his hand. Li Shanpao changed to his own car this time. His driving proficiency and compatibility were much better than the Mitsubishi before. He started the car quickly and rushed out. Since he didn't need to kill Xiaofan, his purpose was to win. He didn't need to be distracted to plan an accident to kill Xiaofan. Xiaofan started the car and followed closely. Although Xiaofan's speed wasn't slow, he didn't overtake the car. Because the winding mountain road was full of turns and the road was narrow, it was very difficult to overtake the car. Besides, the eldest miss was in the car. Xiaofan didn't want to take the risk at the beginning. However, What Xiao Chen did not expect was that while he was not anxious, the young mistress beside him was anxious instead. "Xiao Chen, why don't you overtake the car?" Cheng Menjing saw Xiao Chen following behind Li Shanpao unhurriedly. She was a little unhappy. "Hurry up and overtake him. The track is not very spacious. If I overtake him, I'm afraid that the car will get scratched." "After all, it's Jean Bei's car," Xiao Chen said. "If Jean Bei gets scratched, she doesn't have to pay for it." "You don't have to pay for it. I order you to overtake him now." Cheng Menjing snorted. "Fine." In fact, it was not that Xiao Chen didn't want to overtake him, but the turns ahead were not very good areas for overtaking. If it were him, he wouldn't be hurt if his car was hit by the car. However, the eldest miss was in the car, and he didn't want to take the risk. However, when Cheng Menjing was talking, Xiao Chen found that there was a relatively spacious winding mountain road ahead, which was perfect for overtaking. Now that he had found the opportunity, Xiao Chen directly sped up and quickly caught up to Li Shanpao's car. At first, when Li Shanpao saw that Xiao Chen didn't catch up with him, he thought that his car's performance was better than Xiao Chen's. However, he didn't expect that Xiao Chen would suddenly speed up and catch up to him. Why is he so difficult to deal with? At this moment, Li Shanpao didn't think that Xiao Chen only had a good car. In the first race, because the track was not too dangerous and the car's performance was good, the chances of winning would be higher. Because the so-called drifting could basically be done by any racer. Ordinary tracks didn't require too advanced skills. Therefore, whoever had a good car had a better chance of winning. However, the winding mountain road was different. Below the winding mountain road was a steep cliff. First of all, there was infinite psychological pressure. Secondly, if the drift was not right or the angle was not right, the car might crash and the driver would die. At this time, it was a test of the driver's courage and skills. Hence, at the beginning, Li Shanpao didn't think much of Xiao Chen. He saw that Xiao Chen wasn't driving fast and didn't try to overtake him, so he guessed that Xiao Chen's car was good, but his skills weren't up to par. However, he didn't expect that Xiao Chen was going to overtake him when the next winding mountain road was coming. The curve in the winding mountain road was the best place to overtake. Because it was a curve, the road would inevitably widen. Xiao Chen flashed the car's high beam lights twice, then suddenly accelerated and rushed forward. This almost suicidal way of driving shocked Li Shanpao. Isn't he afraid of death? If he crashed into him, Xiao Chen wouldn't be fine, and neither would Li Shanpao. In an instant, Li Shanpao's expression changed. Originally, he didn't want to let Xiao Chen pass. He wanted to drive in front on the S-shaped road. This would eliminate the possibility of Xiao Chen overtaking him. However, Xiao Chen wasn't playing with skills, he was playing with his life. If it was a professional race, it was rare to see Xiao Chen's suicidal way of driving. After all, everyone was a professional racer. The race was about money, not life. However, it was hard to say why Xiao Chen, a hedonistic young master, would race. Was he looking for excitement? Was he competitive? All of these were possible. Li Shanpao didn't dare to bet on whether Xiao Chen really dared to crash into him. At least, it was the first time Li Shanpao saw someone who dared to speed up at the winding mountain road. Who would speed up here? Was there something wrong with him? However, Xiao Chen sped up. Therefore, Li Shanpao subconsciously moved the car to the side to give Xiao Chen enough space to overtake. Anyway, Li Shanpao didn't think that Xiao Chen could successfully overtake him in this situation. After all, there was a big curve in front. It was not a problem for him to overtake others and drift, but if he suddenly increased his speed to more than 200 miles per hour, it would be a fatal accident. Although Cheng Menjing was used to Xiao Chen's speed, she wasn't used to such a dangerous way of driving. Seeing that there was a sharp curve in front, Xiao Chen suddenly accelerated. What was he trying to do? When Xiao Chen saw Li Shanpao move aside, the corner of his mouth slightly raised. The more famous a racer was, the more afraid he was of death. Xiao Chen was just creating an illusion that he was desperate. Even if Li Shanpao didn't dodge, with Xiao Chen's skills, it was impossible for the car to crash and he would die. At most, he would fail to overtake. However, the miss hadn't finished, yet. Panamera had quickly overtaken Li Shanpao and completed a beautiful drift at the curve. The perfect combination of speed and skills. Just a little bit more and Xiao Chen's car would crash and he would die, but he didn't. This wasn't Xiao Chen's good luck, but Xiao Chen's keen mind and mental strength had already calculated the distance. There would be no problem at all. It wasn't easy for him to become an awesome cultivator. If he didn't use his ability now, when would he use it? Watching Xiao Chen drift successfully with a whoosh and continue to move forward, Li Shanpao's eyes widened. It can't be, right? Did this kid retire from the international competition? His skills were not below Li Shanpao at all. If this went on, he would lose the race again. The opponent was racing with no regard for their lives. In terms of momentum, Li Shanpao was already at a disadvantage. How could he win? Taking a deep breath, Li Shanpao used the car phone to call his junior brother, Lin Chao. Most of the time, the two of them worked together to frame others in the race. Senior brother Li, are you going to make your move? I'm ready to throw the stun grenade at any time. Lin Chao's voice sounded from the phone. This was the method that Li Shanpao and Lin Chao used to get rid of Xiao Chen. Throwing a stun grenade on the winding mountain road was tantamount to putting the opponent to death. When the time came, he wouldn't be able to see anything. It would be very easy for him to rush out of the winding mountain road and fall off the cliff. It was inevitable that his car would crash and he would die. The stun grenade could instantly blind the opponent. Moreover, there wouldn't be too much evidence left after the incident. If the opponent was knocked off the cliff or sprayed lubricant on the road, it would be easier to leave a trace. As for the residue of the stun grenade, it would quickly be blown away by the wind. Even if someone passed by after the incident, there wouldn't be anything left. Moreover, the car accidents here were handled by themselves in a low-profile manner. No one would report it to the police, and there wasn't any professional investigation. It was impossible to be discovered. There's no need for that. Li Shanpao didn't plan to get rid of Xiao Chen in this race because of Chao Yuliang's orders. However, he wouldn't let Xiao Chen win, so he said, in a while, use your qi to blast the rock and break his fuel tank. Pay attention to the angle and don't damage anything else. Okay, I understand. Lin Chao nodded. Breaking someone else's fuel tank was Lin Chao's strength. He and Li Shanpao had worked together several times. When he made his move, he could completely make the car leak without affecting anything else. Chapter 150. Li Shanpao hung up the phone and felt relieved. As for Xiao Chen, no, I don't want to die, I'm not married yet, damn you, Xiao Chen, I'm ruined in your hands, I still have to marry you in the end, Cheng Menjing closed her eyes and didn't dare to look anymore. She didn't think that Xiao Chen would be able to pass the big bend smoothly. He was too fast and couldn't control the direction at all. You're not married. You can't blame me. It's the Cheng family who wants to break off the engagement, right? Xiao Chen looked at Cheng Menjing, who was yelling, and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. We overtook them. Cheng Menjing opened her eyes, and when she saw that she was not dead, she immediately felt a little happy. She took a deep breath and snorted. Luckily, the engagement was broken off. Otherwise, I would have been scared to death by you all day long. Hee hee. Xiao Chen chuckled. Suddenly, his keen divine sense and mental strength sensed that someone seemed to be staring at him. This person should not be Li Shanpao, but someone hiding somewhere on the mountain road, but Xiao Chen could not determine where exactly because the car was too fast. Elder Heaven Ancestor, Yang Qi said, someone seems to be targeting me. Xiaochen did not dare to neglect and hurriedly consulted the Elder Heaven Ancestor. Generally speaking, the Elder Heaven Ancestor's spiritual sense and spiritual perception were stronger than Xiaochen's. Yes, I've dealt with it. As soon as the Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice trailed off, a clang was heard. Xiaochen's Panamera suddenly shook twice. Fortunately, Xiaochen's reaction was fast enough, and the car did not deviate from the track and collide with the mountain. Why didn't you say so earlier? Xiaochen was stunned and said, what happened? Your fuel tank was hit by a rock, the Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Then what should we do? Xiaochen was shocked. If the car's fuel tank leaked, it would keep leaking. They were not even halfway through the race. If they ran out of fuel, wouldn't they lose the race? Don't you have essence chi? Did you break through the 4th level for nothing? Elder Sky asked. Yeah. Xiaochen suddenly woke up. His yuan chi could be converted into all kinds of energy. At this moment, he could directly convert it into the car's gasoline power. Therefore, even if the car ran out of gas, it could still be driven. Thinking of this, Xiaochen heaved a sigh of relief, but he was a little distressed about his vitality. However, Xiaochen was a little puzzled at the moment. From the looks of it, his opponent only wanted him to lose the match, which was why he leaked the fuel tank. Otherwise, if the rock hit the windshield, it would not be as simple as losing the game. Of course, the premise was that Xiaochen was an ordinary person. In other words, if a gun was used to shoot the fuel tank instead of a rock, the car might explode. It would not be as simple as losing. Therefore, the other party did not intend to kill him at the moment. Could it be because Cheng Menjing was in the car? Xiaochen could only make such an inference. There was really no other reason. Xiaochen, what happened to us? The car shook. Cheng Menjing was subconsciously a little nervous. Did we hit something? Nothing. Xiaochen did not say anything about the oil leak. That would make Cheng Menjing worry. However, Xiaochen's car was different from before. It started to take the S route, damn. Li Shanpao walked and wanted to catch up with Xiaochen, but he suddenly realized that this kid was not doing a good thing. If there was an oil leak, then there was an oil leak. He actually swayed on the road. In this way, the leaked oil was scattered everywhere, so Li Shanpao did not dare to drift at all. The car's tires rolled on the oil. It was fine if he did not drift because the car's tires were special anti-skid. It was impossible to lose control on this kind of road. However, if he drifted on it, it would be hard to say. Maybe the car would slide a little further and fall. Li Shanpao could only drive honestly. He thought that Xiaochen would soon run out of oil, and he couldn't persist to the top of the mountain at all. He secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Xiaochen's car indeed ran out of oil soon, but Xiaochen secretly began to inject energy into the car to replace the oil. To Xiaochen's surprise, the car's engine was running very smoothly and powerfully. Except for Xiaochen himself, no one could see the difference at all. Moreover, it seemed that the car was more powerful than before. This was also what Xiaochen could feel. Xiaochen reached the top of the mountain and crossed the finish line. Li Shanpao was still driving carefully somewhere. Jin Beibei, Lu Jinming, Chao Yuliang, Chen Jinpeng, and Shen Jingxian had all taken the cable car to the finish line at the top of the mountain and were waiting. Seeing Xiaochen's car dashing over, Jin Beibei immediately cheered. Oh, my cousin-in-law won again. Jin Beibei danced with joy, as if she had won. Of course. I admit that I'm not as good as Xiaochen in racing. Lu Jinming also walked over. He mainly wanted to see Cheng Menjing. Chao Yuliang frowned. Why did Xiaochen win again? Did something happen on Li Shanpao's side? Xiaochen patted Chao Yuliang's shoulder and said with a smile, Young Master Chao, thank you so much. The racer you found for me is really bad. In the first race, he drove in the ditch. In the second race, he even let me overtake him. What a nice guy. Of course. I told you, I just want to help you win some money. Chao Yuliang said, our grudge before was because of Cheng Menjing. But now, it's all in the past. I still hope that you can help me pursue Cheng Menjing. No problem. It's not a problem as long as you have money. If you don't, forget it, Xiaochen said confidently. Cheng Menjing immediately frowned. What did Xiaochen mean? She used to be his fiancée. Even if she was not now, how could he help someone else pursue his ex-wife? How shameless could he be? I'm so angry. Humph. I shouldn't have gotten in the car just now. I should have let you die so that you don't have a conscience. I definitely have money. This isn't a racing car, but I have money. In the future, there will be more opportunities like this. Chao Yuliang also noticed that in the next race, Cheng Menjing would most likely have to follow the car. So, the hope of killing Xiaochen today was very slim. He said it so that he could trick Xiaochen into courting death again next time. Otherwise, in the eyes of Chao Yuliang, Xiaochen was a dead man. He was too lazy to pretend to be courteous with him. Even if he wanted to pursue Cheng Menjing, he didn't need him. After waiting for a while, Li Shanpao's car arrived late. However, after he stopped the car, he saw that Xiaochen had already reached the finish line. He was suddenly shocked. He pointed at Xiaochen's car and shouted, "Impossible! Impossible! How did you reach the finish line earlier than me?" Earlier, although Li Shanpao didn't see Xiaochen on the way, he thought that Xiaochen had accidentally driven the car into the ditch. Because the gasoline in the tank had leaked only for a short distance before it was completely gone. There was no more gasoline left for the rest of the road. Therefore, Li Shanpao didn't think that Xiaochen could drive the car to the finish line at all. Hearing Li Shanpao's exclamation, everyone looked at Xiaochen's Panamera subconsciously. As expected, they found a big hole near the fuel tank. There were traces of gasoline flowing out, but it had been completely drained. Ah, my rich Jean Beibe's car. Jean Beibe looked at her car sadly. It's so miserable. Chen Jinpeng, it's all your fault. You asked my cousin-in-law to race with you and damaged my car, didn't you? Pay for it. Well. Chen Jinpeng was dazed for a moment. Does it have anything to do with me? However, he was a bit scared of Jean Beibe right now. Subconsciously, he took a few steps back and said, I bought 2 cars from Porsche. They gave me a voucher of 100,000 yuan. I'll give it to you later. You can go and repair the car. Chen Jinpeng thought that since he had given the 2 cars to Jean Beibe anyway, it was useless for him to keep the voucher. So, he might as well give it to her. Looking at the big hole on the car, Jean Beibe said, Fine. I'll reluctantly forgive you. But 100,000 yuan is not enough to repair the car, is it? Alright, Jean Beibe. How much did you spend to repair the car? You can ask Pengzi to reimburse you with the receipt. Chao Yuliang waved his hands. He squatted and looked at the fuel tank of the Panamera in confusion, too. How did the car get there when it ran out of gas? Fine. Jean Beibe finally calmed down. Young Master Lu, thank you so much for modifying an auxiliary fuel tank for me. Otherwise, I really would have run out of gas. Xiao Qin said to Lu Zhenming gratefully. Lu Zhenming was slightly dazed. However, he did not know where exactly the modification factory had been made. He did not know that Lu Zhenming really thought that it was him who had modified the car. So, he smiled complacently and said, Of course. We are so close. After hearing what Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming said, Li Shanpao suddenly understood. He felt that he had been tricked. In the modification factory, some cars would be modified with an auxiliary fuel tank in order to increase the driving distance. However, this way would increase the weight of the car. Also, if the location of the auxiliary fuel tank was not chosen well, it would be more troublesome when the car crashed. So, he did not think of this before. Only now did he understand that there was an auxiliary fuel tank. No wonder he could drive here without any pressure. Zhao Yuliang's face was a little pale. Although he could not kill Xiaochen today, he had secretly asked someone to bet a lot of money on Li Shanpao. If Li Shanpao lost now, he would lose everything. Damn it, it's Lu Zhenming again. If it wasn't for this guy, Xiaochen would have died a long time ago. This guy was really his nemesis. Zhao Yuliang was so angry that he gnashed his teeth. There is only one game left. If I win, I can go home and sleep. Xiaochen said with a smile, what's the next game? According to the rules, it's going against the Panshan Road, which means returning to the foot of the Panshan Road from the top of the Panshan Road. But Xiaochen, your car is broken. Can you still compete? Why don't you give up today and try another day? Zhao Yuliang suggested. Chapter 151. Zhao Yuliang could not hurt Xiaochen today. Moreover, Xiaochen had been lucky many times. He was afraid that in the next race, something would go wrong with the car modified by Lu Zhenming. If Xiaochen won again, he would suffer a great loss. How can I change it to another day? Then I won in vain today, didn't I? Why don't you tell the racetrack that I won and give me the prize money? Xiaochen glanced at Zhao Yuliang and asked. At the same time, Xiaochen sneered in his heart. Was Zhao Yuliang anxious because Cheng Menjing was always in the car and had no chance to hurt him? But he was not so stingy, was he? Was he not going to continue the race just for 400,000 yuan? Xiaochen did not know that this guy had also made a bet in private. But even if he knew, he would be happy. How is that possible? The racetrack isn't owned by my family, they all have their own rules. Zhao Yuliang's expression froze. If Xiaochen won, then wouldn't his money go down the drain? But now, there was still a chance to turn the tables. So he said, since Xiaochen wants to continue the race, let's continue. But can you still drive this car? It's okay. Why can't I? Didn't I drive well just now? Xiaochen said with a faint smile. In the second race, the driver of TTT 777 wins again. The voice of Xiaochen's victory came from the loudspeaker. In the third race, Reverse Mountain Road. 2 players, please get ready. Okay, that's enough. I'm going to the race. Wait for my victory. Xiaochen waved his hand and got in the car. Cheng Menjing followed him and got in the car. Jean Beibei ran to Cheng Menjing and said, Cousin Menjing, let's switch. How about I accompany my cousin-in-law in this race? No. Cheng Menjing said firmly. Why? Do you like my cousin-in-law? Jean Beibei asked in a low voice. Don't worry about it. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Of course, Cheng Menjing wouldn't exchange with Jean Beibei. Zhao Yuliang was afraid of her and didn't dare to kill her. However, he couldn't do it with Jean Beibei. Zhao Yuliang didn't like Jean Beibei. Besides, Chen Jinpeng hated Jean Beibei so much. If Jean Beibei was in the car, Xiaochen would be killed faster. The two of them would definitely be happy that Jean Beibei died together. Oh, okay. Seeing that Cheng Menjing was so determined, Jean Beibei left gloomily although she didn't understand the reason. Li Shanpao took a look at Zhao Yuliang and saw Zhao Yuliang shake his head. He knew that Zhao Yuliang had given up the plan. He also realized that Zhao Yuliang seemed to be doing this for Cheng Menjing. However, he would still take the commission. Whether Xiao Chen was killed or not did not matter to him. The two cars stopped side by side at the starting line. The voice of the countdown for the third race came from the loudspeaker again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When the number 1 was shouted, the referee waved the small flag in his hand. The voice on the other side of the phone was very gloomy. I've already taken off my pants, and this is what you show me? Boss, don't be angry. Chao Yuliang was shocked. He knew what kind of person his master was. The boss was usually a serious person. If he was joking with you, it meant that he was already extremely angry. He quickly explained, in the first two races, Cheng Menjing was also in the car, so I. Boss, you also know that she is a member of the Cheng family, so, what about the Cheng family? The boss said faintly, don't think that I don't know your thoughts. Don't you just want to marry her? Let me tell you, a real man doesn't have to worry about not having a wife. You know what I mean, right? I know. Chao Yuliang's throat squirmed twice. In the end, he didn't argue but chose to obey. Because he had to obey. There was no other possibility. Okay, I want to see the result. After the boss finished, he hung up the phone. Chao Yuliang clenched his hands. His face was hideous and terrible. He panted heavily. He really liked Cheng Menjing. It wasn't fake. However, for the supreme strength and family status, he must kill Cheng Menjing with his own hands. Why? Chao Yuliang growled, although you gave me Chao Yuliang strength and helped me get to the top, I will remember what happened today. One day, I will settle the score with you. After venting, Chao Yuliang calmed down his mood. He picked up the phone again and dialed Li Shanpao's number. Young Master Chao, what are your orders? Li Shanpao was depressed that he couldn't catch up with Xiao Chen. The plan has begun. Kill them. Chao Yuliang gritted his teeth and said this sentence. Then, he hung up the phone. Xiao Chen's guess was right. He was the young man who had been targeting Xiao Chen. He was Chao Yuliang. After putting away the phone, Chao Yuliang raised his head and strode back to the audience. Cheng Menjing is already a thing of the past. However, your death is worth it. The woman that I, Chao Yuliang, have taken a liking to is willing to be sacrificed for me. His psychology was almost distorted. Brother Liang, what's the matter? Chen Jinpeng asked casually when he saw Chao Yuliang come back. Nothing. My family asked me where I am and when I will go back. Chao Yuliang waved his hand and said casually, let's watch the game. Oh, okay. Chen Jinpeng was holding back his anger. He originally said that he wanted to kill Xiao Chen, but the result was that Xiao Chen won inexplicably twice. This third time, he also had the posture of winning, so he didn't want to watch anymore. However, Shen Jingxian on the side seemed to be very cold to him. Although Shen Jingxian could answer with a smile, this kind of I ask and you answer style of chatting wasn't chatting at all. It made people very depressed. Li Shanpao was suppressed by Xiao Chen. Finally, when Chao Yuliang gave the order, he didn't have to hold back anymore. He directly contacted his junior, Lin Chao. Junior Chao, get ready to move. Prepare the flash grenade. Okay. No problem. Lin Chao's voice came over. Li Shanpao wasn't in a hurry to chase at this time. If he was too close to Xiao Chen, he might be affected by the flash grenade. When Xiao Chen couldn't see the road clearly and fell off the cliff, he would go over. As long as Xiao Chen died, then he would be the only winner of this game. No matter how many rounds Xiao Chen had won before, it didn't matter. This was the rule of underground racing. If one side lost and quit the game, the other side would win. Why isn't Li Shanpao chasing anymore? Cheng Menjing looked at the rearview mirror with some doubts. Is he going to give up? I don't think so. Could it be that he wants to do something? Xiaofan frowned. He felt that if he was a master in the international underground racing competition, he wouldn't be able to stand being humiliated by a newcomer from a small place, let alone Li Shanpao. This person is really wicked. His level isn't good, but he wants to ruin others. Cheng Menjing looked down on Li Shanpao. Xiaofan nodded and didn't say anything. However, his divine sense and mental strength had been released to sense the movements nearby. He was also afraid that there would be some problems in the last game. Chapter 152. Suddenly, Xiaofan moved, but it was too late. An unknown object was suddenly thrown not far in front of Xiaofan. Then, it suddenly exploded and emitted a dazzling light. Flash bomb. These words flashed in Xiaofan's mind. In an instant, everything in front of him was white, and he was temporarily blinded. Ah! Cheng Menjing also screamed. She knew very well what would happen if she couldn't see the road on this racetrack. There was a big curve not far in front, and the car would almost certainly rush down. Although Xiaofan was a little shocked, he wasn't the slightest bit worried. Although everything in front of his eyes was white, don't forget that Xiaofan had divine sense and spiritual perception. Moreover, his six senses were very sensitive, so his eyes weren't affected at all. It was only a short few seconds before the flash bomb exploded that he saw a vast expanse of whiteness. Once the flash bomb lost its effect, Xiaofan instantly recovered his vision. This didn't affect him much at all. In fact, when the flash bomb lit up, Xiaofan began to drift through the curve. The car didn't slow down at all. F***ck. Li Shanpao's junior, Lin Chao, who hit on the cable car and threw the flash bomb, suddenly widened his eyes. Although he was also temporarily blinded, after losing his vision, he realized that Xiaofan didn't die in the crash. Instead, he continued to move forward. This was strange. Xiaofan wasn't affected by the flash bomb. If he knew that Xiaofan could still drift, he would probably be shocked. We didn't die. After a while, Cheng Menjing didn't notice anything wrong. It seemed that the car was still moving at high speed, and her vision gradually returned to normal. Suddenly, she was very surprised. Just now, you actually drove over here? And I've memorized the route of the racetrack. It didn't affect me, said Xiaofan. So that's how it is. You scared me to death. I thought we were going to die. Cheng Menjing let out a sigh of relief and patted her chest. The surprises I've eaten with you today are more than the amount of salt I've eaten since I was a child. Eat essence? Alright, Xiaofan admitted that he was evil. He didn't know when he started to have such thoughts about eldest Mississippi. In the past, he only had thoughts about Shenjingxian. If it was that easy to die, I wouldn't be your servant. Xiaofan laughed. Humph, of course. Look at whose maid she is. Cheng Menjing said proudly. Lin Chao quickly contacted Li Shanpao, senior brother. That kid actually didn't die. The flashbang has no effect on him. What? Li Shanpao nearly drove his car into the ravine. The stun grenade was ineffective? Could it be that this kid had titanium dog eyes? It didn't make sense that he wasn't afraid of the flash grenade. It's true. He's still driving. Lin Chao said, what do we do now? Forget it, I'll take care of the rest. Li Shanpao took a deep breath and began to accelerate. Instead, he set up an illusion behind him, changing the shape and distance of the curve behind him. Li Shanpao felt his vision blur. The track seemed to be different from what he had seen before, but he didn't pay much attention to it. He was fully focused on racing, and sometimes he would feel his vision blur. It was a reflex caused by visual fatigue. However, when Li Shanpao was drifting around the curve, he felt that something was wrong. He clearly felt that the wheels on one side seemed to have friction. Then, with a bang, his car tilted, and then the whole car rolled off the cliff. Lin Chao was still on the cable car. He witnessed the scene of Li Shanpao falling off the cliff with his own eyes. This made him very shocked. There wasn't any external interference. How did Li Shanpao suddenly drive the car off the edge of the mountain road? Could it be that he miscalculated the distance of the drift? However, logically speaking, Li Shanpao shouldn't have made such a low-level mistake. He was an international professional racer. How could he make a mistake on such a small track? Thinking of this, Lin Chao had some doubts. Could it be that Xiao Chen had done something? However, he didn't look carefully before. He only saw Xiao Chen successfully pass the flash grenade, and not long after, Li Shanpao fell off the cliff. Could it be that there was something wrong with the residue of the flash grenade? Lin Chao's heart was in a mess. Until the cable car reached the station, he forgot to get off. In the end, he followed the cable car and went around in circles. That Li Shanpao fell off. Although Qing Menjing was from an ancient martial arts family, she would still be afraid when she saw something like a dead person. Although she hated Li Shanpao, seeing him fall off the cliff at this moment, her heart was still subconsciously shocked. No matter what, this was a living life. The flash grenade just now was probably released by him. Xiao Chen said faintly, "Unrighteousness brings about one's own destruction. Who knows if he was affected by it or not? If that's the case." When Qing Menjing thought about the flash grenade that almost caused her and Xiao Chen to lose their lives, she suddenly didn't sympathize with Li Shanpao. She was a little angry. Chao Yuliang even wants to kill me. Is he crazy? I'm also a little puzzled. Is this Chao Yuliang's order or Li Shanpao's personal behavior? Xiao Chen was also very puzzled at this moment. From the previous two races, Li Shanpao chose to endure. This should be Chao Yuliang's order. But why did Li Shanpao choose to go all out in the third match? Did Chao Yuliang change his mind, or was there another reason? Li Shanpao's personal behavior? Qing Menjing was a little surprised. Yup. Li Shanpao must have lost in the previous two races. He's an internationally famous racer, after all. He's definitely upset that he lost to an unknown hedonistic young master in a row. So, I'm in the lead again in the third race. It's possible that he killed me for the sake of his pride, but I'm not too sure, Xiao Chen said. Oh. I didn't expect that, Xiao Chen. You've been my servant for a long time, and you've become as smart as me. You're not as stupid as before. Qing Menjing didn't expect Xiao Chen to be so smart that he could see so many things clearly. She used to think that Xiao Chen was an egomaniac who considered everything from the center of himself. One is marked by the company one keeps, Xiao Chen said with a smile. Is it because he has been infected by you and Jean Bebe that he has a dual personality? Qing Menjing suddenly asked, "Oh, then does he have a personality like me?" Maybe a little. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly, "I'm almost mentally ill." You deserve it. Who told you to play with her all day long? Qing Menjing snorted. At the moment, Xiao Chen's car was approaching the finish line. Xiao Chen could even see Jean Bebe, Lu Jinming, Chao Yuliang, Chen Jinpeng, and Shen Jingxian, who were waiting at the finish line in advance. Xiao Chen didn't pay attention to the others. He kept staring at Chao Yuliang. When Chao Yuliang's car appeared in his field of vision, Xiao Chen saw that Chao Yuliang's expression didn't change much. Perhaps it was better to say that Chao Yuliang looked surprised, which made him even more puzzled. Is it really not Chao Yuliang who gave the order? Actually, Chao Yuliang had already been shocked. Xiao Chen's car was fine, but Li Shanpao's car suddenly fell off the cliff. He had already received news about this a long time ago. He had been suppressing his strength for so many years that he could already hide his emotions. Even if it was strange, he would not show it at this time. Chapter 153. Cousin-in-law, did you make it? Your opponent fell into a ditch and died. Jean Bebe ran to him and said happily, cousin-in-law, you won. Huh? Really? Fell into a ditch? After hearing that, Xiaochen pretended to be confused and said, yes, I remember now. I don't know who was playing with a flashlight on the mountain earlier. It was so dazzling that I almost fell into a ditch. I guess that Li Shanpao must have been hit by it. Flashlight? Are you all right? Chao Yuliang interjected calmly. I have to thank Lu Zhenming, young Master Lu. Xiaochen laughed and patted Lu Zhenming's shoulder. He changed the glass of the car to the International Professional Anti-Glare glass, which can effectively protect us from strong light. Otherwise, we would have been dead for sure. I wonder who was so immoral as to play with a flashlight near the mountain road. Oh. Maybe it was a kid or something. Chao Yuliang almost burst out cursing on the spot. Lu Zhenming, it's you again. Why is it always you? How old are ya? Ha ha ha. Of course. How could I not do a good job in Xiaochen's racing? It cost me a lot of money. Besides, Menjing was in the car. How could I joke about my own safety? Lu Zhenming seemed to have forgotten that the glass of the car had been modified, but he did not mind making himself look good in front of Cheng Menjing. He immediately burst into laughter. Cheng Menjing looked at Xiaochen strangely but did not say anything. That was not what Xiaochen had told her in the car. Also, she had been blinded by the flashlight before. How could she have any anti-glare glass? In the third race, the driver of Song 741741 failed and fell off the cliff. The race is over. The driver of Song TTT 777 is the final winner of this race. The voice of Xiaochen's victory came from the loudspeaker. In the next race, the drivers of Song TXXXXX and Song ZXXXXX will compete on the track. Please be prepared in advance. Xiaochen won. The next race had nothing to do with him. He only needed to take the money and leave. Xiaochen, congratulations. Chao Yuliang had to accept the fact. He had no choice. Li Shanpao was dead. It was impossible for him to deal with Xiaochen today. Therefore, he had to give up temporarily. If there is such a good thing in the future, I will ask Pengzi to find you in advance. No problem. I will never refuse money. Xiaochen nodded. Shen Jingxian frowned slightly. She looked at Xiaochen. She could not understand this playboy more and more. She naturally knew what kind of person Li Shanpao was. However, Xiaochen was able to win 3 races in a row. Shen Jingxian did not think that it was as simple as luck. Or it could be said that it was only because the car was modified by Lu Zhenming. Moreover, Xiaochen was such an arrogant person. Every time after the race, he would praise Lu Zhenming. This made Shen Jingxian even more curious. Could it be that Xiaochen really wanted to help Lu Zhenming pursue Cheng Menjing? Shen Jingxian felt that it was unlikely. How could such a narrow-minded man like Xiaochen do such a thing? Even in the past, he and Cheng Menjing were only engaged in name. However, 80% of the conflict between him and Chao Yuliang was caused by Cheng Menjing. It could be seen that although Xiaochen was very fickle in pursuing her, he still regarded Cheng Menjing as his woman in his heart. Otherwise, he would not be so incompatible with Chao Yuliang. Now, in just a few days, Xiaochen changed his character. Moreover, through the contact between Shen Jingxian and Xiaochen, Shen Jingxian did not think that Xiaochen would do such a boring thing. The current Xiaochen was really different from the previous Xiaochen. It's getting late. I need to go back and rest. Cheng Menjing did not want to stay here any longer because Li Shanpao wanted to kill her and Xiaochen. She was not in the mood. Jingxian, then I'll go first. I'll ask you out next time. Well, Menjing, go back and have a good rest. You must be tired today. Shen Jingxian smiled and nodded. She was the happiest that Cheng Menjing and Xiao Chen were both fine. Chen Jinpeng went to Huang Xiaochun and took out a bank card with 400,000 yuan. He handed it to Xiao Chen, this is the bank card with 400,000 yuan. The password is 6 zeros. Next time something like this happens, I'll call you again. But you also know that this kind of idiot rookie driver is not common. Okay. Call me if he's an idiot again. Xiao Chen nodded and put away the bank card. Then, he got into the Panamera with Jin Beibei and Cheng Menjing. After Xiao Chen and Cheng Menjing left, Lu Xinming naturally did not need to stay anymore. He turned around and went to the parking lot. Watching him leaving, Chao Yuliang clenched his fists. Good, very good. Lu Xinming, it seems that you are determined to go against me. Time and time again, the killers that I sent to assassinate Xiao Chen were either killed by you or driven away by your people. You even raided the martial arts club of the Chao family and beat me up. I, Chao Yuliang, have never suffered such a great loss in my life. Humph. Who said that Lu Xinming, the young master of the underworld, was stupid? In Chao Yuliang's eyes, Lu Xinming was quite calculative. Otherwise, he would not have been able to go against him again and win with an overwhelming advantage. Cousin-in-law, you were awesome today. Jin Beibei was very excited on the way back. Not bad. Your car is good, said Xiao Chen. By the way, cousin Menjing, why don't you let me sit in cousin-in-law's car? Do you like cousin-in-law now? Jin Beibei was very regretful that she could not sit in the car today. Beibei, stop it. Cheng Menjing glared at her and said, do you know how dangerous it was today? Chao Yuliang wanted to kill Xiao Chen. Li Shanpao is a professional racer in the international underground racing competitions. He is best at killing his opponents in the competitions. If I had not been in the car, Chao Yuliang would have killed me. But if you had been in the car, you and Xiao Chen would have died sooner. Ah. Jin Beibei was not stupid. She connected the dots and immediately realized what was going on. So, cousin Menjing was trying to save my cousin-in-law. What did you think? Otherwise, why would I like to take his car? It was so fast. I was so scared. My heart almost fell out of my body. Cheng Menjing patted her chest subconsciously and said. What about the flashlight in the last race? Asked Jin Beibei. It seemed to be Li Shanpao's accomplice. He threw a flashlight, but I had memorized the route and was not affected, said Xiao Chen. Then why did Li Shanpao fall to his death? Jin Beibei was somewhat confused. I set up a magic trick behind me. Don't forget that I know magic tricks. Xiao Chen said with a smile. But he saw it wrong and fell to his death. At this moment, Xiao Chen did not want to keep it a secret anymore. After all, it was impossible for his mistress and Jin Beibei to harm him. You killed him? Cheng Menjing widened her eyes and stared at Xiao Chen in disbelief. She found it hard to imagine that Xiao Chen had killed someone. Although killing was a common thing in the world of warriors, she rarely had the chance to come into contact with such things. He tried to kill me and almost got you and me involved in a clandestine marriage. So, of course, I had to kill him. Xiao Chen shrugged his shoulders. You're my missy, after all. As a servant, I have the right to protect you. Is that so? Cheng Menjing immediately felt much better. So, Xiao Chen did it for her. It made Cheng Menjing somewhat happy. The guy was finally paying attention to her. Wow, a clandestine marriage. Cousin Menjing, cousin-in-law, you are so romantic. Jin Beibei waved her hands and shouted as if she had discovered a new continent. Cheng Menjing was somewhat speechless. She rolled her eyes at her and said, you are going to die. Romantic? If you like him, you can marry him next time. Hee. It's fine if he is alive, but if he is dead, he won't know anything. I won't marry him. Jean Bebe stuck out her tongue. She suddenly thought of something. Right. Chao Yuliang asked Li Shanpao to kill him. He doesn't like cousin Menjing anymore. In the third race, I suspect that it was Li Shanpao's personal behavior. He is a famous racer in the world after all, but I won 2 races against him, and I was still in the lead in the third race. He must have killed me in private for his own sake. Of course, I'm not sure, Xiao Chen speculated. After all, Chao Yuliang held himself back for 2 races. There was no need for him to wait until the third race. He shouldn't be short of 400,000. That's true. How strange. Jean Bebe nodded after hearing that. She gnashed her teeth and said, my poor car has been ruined by them. Damn Chen Jinpeng and Chao Yuliang. I'll kill them next time. Huh. Haven't you killed enough? Isn't this car Chen Jinpeng's? Xiao Chen said with a smile. It's mine now, Jean Bebe said matter-of-factly. Xiao Chen, seriously speaking, if you were not short of money, you wouldn't have promised Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng anything in the future. Now that you know that they are up to no good, why did you go and join them? Cheng Menjing said solemnly. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. Why was he not short of money? He was in dire need of money right now. But it was not convenient for him to say that. If Cheng Menjing asked him why the herbs he bought were so expensive, how was Xiao Chen going to answer her? Xiao Chen did not intend to talk about the cultivators for now. It's fine. I'm not scared of their petty schemes anyway. They are all at the kindergarten level, Xiao Chen said. I'd like to see what other tricks they have up their sleeves. Hey! What's wrong with you? Cheng Menjing was a little unhappy. She raised her eyebrows and said to Xiao Chen, as the saying goes, if you always stand by the river, your shoes will always be wet. What kindergarten level? If it weren't for the fact that your racing skills are not bad, would have died with you today because of you. Xiao Chen, when are you going to get rid of your bad habit of being so competitive? No girls will like you like this. Shen Jingxian doesn't like your personality, either. Xiao Chen was immediately speechless. Why was he involved with Shen Jingxian again? Chapter 154. Xiao Chen's affection for Shen Jingxian had been completely sealed in his heart. When Cheng Menjing mentioned it and talked about it, Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Okay, I'll try my best to be careful in the future. Humph, you don't listen to me no matter how hard I try to persuade you. You only listen to me when I mention Jingxian. Xiao Chen agreed, but Cheng Menjing snorted unhappily. Which one is more important, me or Jingxian? Both are important. Xiao Chen was speechless. However, he was used to the temper of the first mistress. Jean Bebe stayed in the villa tonight. They drove all the way back to the villa. Xiao Chen didn't go in with them. Instead, he said to them, I've run out of medicine. I'll buy some. Okay. Cheng Menjing didn't care. She and Jean Bebe had eaten something in the racetrack tonight, so they didn't need to have dinner. She didn't care what Xiao Chen was going to do. Xiao Chen didn't drive again. Driving would consume his primordial qi. Xiao Chen didn't want to waste the primordial qi that he had cultivated painstakingly in this place. Although it didn't consume a lot of primordial qi, he wanted to save as much as possible. When Xiao Chen came to the pharmacy, he took a look. Fortunately, the pharmacy was not closed. It was a little late today. Xiao Chen was really afraid that his cultivation would be delayed for a day. Pushing the door open, Xiao Chen walked in. The young girl, Hong Yan, was still reading a book. She was very quiet and beautiful. Hearing the sound, she looked up and found it was Xiaochen. She didn't talk to him but said to the back, "Grandpa, that guy is here again." Xiaochen smiled bitterly. He didn't know how he had offended her. Her attitude was getting worse and colder. "Young man, you're here." Grandpa Chen walked out from the back. Seeing Xiaochen, he nodded to him. "You're here again? Is it the same as last time?" "No, the prescription has been changed again this time." As Xiaochen spoke, he passed the newly prepared prescription to Grandpa Chen and said, "Grandpa, can you help me take a look? How much does it cost this time?" Grandpa Chen nodded his head and took the prescription. He briefly looked at the medicinal ingredients and couldn't help but click his tongue in wonder. "Young man, are you sure you can use all the medicinal ingredients? The herbs are getting more and more expensive every time. I'm afraid you can't afford it." How much is it this time?" Xiaochen asked. "This time, even if I give you a discount, it will still be 2.5 million. Grandpa Chen said, "Moreover, this is already a very low price because you have added a new medicinal herb which is very rare. This kind of medicinal herb costs 2 million. "I see." Xiaochen almost burst into tears on the spot. Cultivation was simply burning money. This is a bottomless pit. I don't even have 2.5 million on me. I thought I had a lot of money, but I didn't expect it to be a drop in the bucket. That's why I asked you. Are you sure you can use it? If you can't use it, it will be a waste of money." Grandpa Chen said. I only have 2.1 million on me now." Xiaochen smiled bitterly and said weakly. He. Grandpa Chen suddenly laughed after hearing it. "You are honest. However, I can sell you one. The next one will cost 2.5 million. It can't be any less. If I sell the next one, I will be making money." "Thank you, Grandpa." Xiaochen was suddenly surprised and happy. He thought that he couldn't buy it today and it would delay the progress of his cultivation. However, he didn't expect that Grandpa Chen actually agreed to sell him one. "Alright, Yen, you swipe his card. I will get the medicine for him." Grandpa Chen said to Hong Yen. "Oh." Hong Yen nodded and put down the book in her hand. She took out a POS machine and handed it to Xiaochen. She said coldly, "Swipe it." Xiaochen gave all the money he had to Hong Yen. He was only left with a little change in his pocket. It was really bitter to the extreme. He originally thought that he had some money on hand. Who would have thought that he could only afford to buy a set of medicinal herbs after the other party gave him a discount? After receiving the bag of medicinal herbs that weren't much different from before, Xiaochen couldn't help but smile bitterly. Nowadays, there were more and more rare medicinal herbs, and less common ones. If this continued, how could he survive in the future? "Grandpa Chen, why did you give him a discount again? Won't we lose out?" Hong Yen looked at Grandpa Chen strangely and asked. "Miss Yen, I always feel that this person isn't simple. It can be considered as a good karma." Grandpa Chen said, "The connections of our Hong Chamber of Commerce are built this way in many cases. But he looks very wretched. No matter how I look at it, he won't be of help to us." Hong Yen had already put on colored glasses to look at Xiaochen. In the past, didn't the honorary guest of our Hong Chamber of Commerce, President Lin, also come from a humble background? At that time, because of a good karma, the shopkeeper of a shop sold something to him. He was grateful. When our Chamber of Commerce was in trouble later, he helped us. Grandpa Chen said earnestly, "As a businessman, this is what we pay attention to. Isn't President Lin a legendary figure?" "Grandpa Chen, does he really exist?" Hong Yen asked curiously. Who knows? However, there might not be an empty hole, right?" Grandpa Chen laughed and said, "In short, the things recorded in the Chamber of Commerce's log should be true. Okay then. Hong Yen pouted and didn't continue to slander Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen ran home quickly and found that Cheng Menjing and Jean Bebe had gone upstairs to rest. So he went back to his room and began to brew medicine. As for dinner, he skipped it. With all the medicinal materials he had bought, Xiao Chen sighed deeply and said to himself, "Elder Heaven Ancestor, if this goes on, I will go bankrupt. Next, I really have to sell my blood. I am fast enough to cheat money, but you are even worse than me. Well, this is a good idea." Elder Heaven Ancestor said thoughtfully after hearing that. What? Xiao Chen was suddenly stunned. A good idea? Your blood has been tempered by medicine. After drinking it, it can strengthen your body, heal wounds, and so on. So you can also sell your blood to people like Golden-Haired Lion King, Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Forget it. Then I might as well sell the dregs. Xiao Chen felt disgusted thinking about it. He put the medicinal materials into the electric clay pot, set the time, and began to brew it. Over there, in a limousine near the underground racetrack, Chao Yuliang sat in it with a livid face. Opposite him was Li Shanpao's junior brother, Lin Chao. Mr. Lin Chao, tell me, what's going on? That's not what you told me at the beginning. You said that you would definitely kill Xiao Chen, but what about now? You didn't kill Xiao Chen, but he killed himself? How are you going to explain this to me? Chao Yuliang didn't complete the task, so he was naturally in a bad mood. However, he was secretly relieved that Cheng Menjing didn't die. Young Master Chao, this is indeed my senior brother's mistake. However, you can't blame us entirely. We could have gotten rid of Xiao Chen in the first match, but you didn't agree. The third match was on the downhill mountain path, which was the most dangerous match. If something went wrong, this. Lin Chao was implying that he was also responsible. Chao Yuliang frowned slightly, but he didn't refute. After all, Lin Chao wasn't his junior brother, and the truth was what Lin Chao said. Now that Li Shanpao was dead, it was meaningless for Chao Yuliang to say this. Forget it. This time, you and I are both responsible. I will still give you the money. Chao Yuliang waved his hand. You should leave as soon as possible. Don't let anyone find out. Of course, I have to go back and arrange the follow-up. Lin Chao nodded and said, but young Master Chao, there is something I have to remind you. Senior brother Li's identity isn't simple. What do you mean? Chao Yuliang was slightly stunned. Isn't he just a professional racer in the underground racetrack? His identity on the surface is a professional racer, but his real identity is also a descendant of an aristocratic family. He's just a collateral relative. Lin Chao said, so, I'm afraid that senior brother's family will find trouble with young Master Chao. During this time, young Master Chao shouldn't go out of town. In Songning City, I believe that no one dares to touch young Master Chao. Are you threatening me? Chao Yuliang sneered. Let's not talk about the fact that he was a martial artist at the peak of stage 3 internal strength. Even if he wasn't afraid of any collateral relatives. That's not it. It's just a kind reminder. Lin Chao waved his hand. Of course, this isn't the most troublesome. The most troublesome thing is that he has a fiancée who is a martial artist. Young Master Chao should know what kind of person a martial artist is, right? I'm afraid that his fiancée will come to take revenge. Chao Yuliang looked at Lin Chao's incessant chatter and finally got a little impatient. I'm just the employer. I paid. Li Shan's problem is ultimately because of Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming who helped him modify the car. You should tell them this. Young Master Chao, don't be unhappy. I'll naturally speak up for you. However, if someone really comes, you can just shirk the responsibility, just like just now. Lin Chao hinted. Understood. Chao Yuliang wasn't stupid. He understood the meaning behind Lin Chao's words. His previous unhappiness was instantly swept away. This was a good opportunity to deal with Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming. Previously, Chao Yuliang was afraid that they would come to find trouble. Now, he was afraid that they wouldn't come. Then, I'll take my leave. Lin Chao cupped his fist. He quickly got out of the RV and disappeared into the night. Chao Yuliang reached out and picked up the phone. He looked at a name on it and didn't press it for a long time. However, before he could make a decision, the phone rang first. Boss. Chao Yuliang took a deep breath and quickly picked up the phone. What are you doing? Why is Xiao Chen still alive? The boss's unhappy voice came from the other side of the phone. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.